grass area around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right. After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area.
How are you doing, everybody?
This is the video evidence that we utilize to track his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence.
Got an update right now. This is live.
You want to go
This is live right now. We got video and a new update.
So here's the still photographs I mentioned. These have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced
That's
earlier.
the right T-shirt. We found that earlier.
Close attention to the T-shirt.
We found that T-shirt earlier.
Distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with the triangle and the sunglasses.
That's the veteran shirt we saw earlier today.
The backpack as well. All identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify.
Is the rifle in the backpack?
Suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again the T-shirt, blue jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out. We'll continue to push these out, and we just ask for the public's cooperation through the public. The tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn time back over to Governor Cox.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us tonight. We've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff here. We have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, just give you a little warning, we will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple things that I think are important.
No questions?
We cannot do our job without the public's help right now.
Wow.
The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing. This case also highlights the dedication of our law enforcement community. We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews. As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We're going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects. But we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov /Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov /Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well. What we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence. I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come.
Days
more
and
than
weeks.
anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
Wow. We got him. We don't have him. I have Cash Patel there. No questions. Killer's still on the run. This is wild. This has to be one of the most egregious levels of shit I think we've seen.
I'm just going
From the killing itself to the immediate blame that was shifted right away from like who the killer could be to this was the left that did this right away. And here we are now, what is it, 2 days later? I don't know. I've been up for like days straight now, and there's still nothing. There's still no killer. We're getting like more video now. He said in the days and weeks ahead. What do you mean days and weeks?
We'll double check. Okay, where's that at?
I don't know.
Let's go back to the beginning in case we missed it. I missed the very beginning of this.
They're not even sure if they're going to release it.
What are they?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what.
Yeah, we're gonna rewind to the
He
beginning.
says you zoomed in and then you zoomed out.
First one.
Let me just have him text you because I apologize. I'm not wanting to be in the mix of between you and.
Here, if there's hot mic. Every press conference they've held was nothing. We get video on this one though, at least. Okay, let's watch again. So here it is from the beginning. In case you guys just missed it.
Did you make it? Okay, good. Sorry about that.
Yeah, the AI Trump from yesterday. That's why they AI'd him, because he had a stroke, it looks like. Saw that this morning.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Hillary Kellner. I am the Communications Director for the Utah Department of Public Safety. This evening, we have FBI Director Patel, FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, Governor Spencer Cox, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, and Commissioner Anderson, as well as Commissioner Bo Mason, as well as some local partners here present with us today. Governor, we'll kick it off.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate the media and the partnership we have with you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being. So we're going to cue up the video right now, show that. I've asked Commissioner Bo Mason if he would narrate to you what is happening in this video.
Okay, so they got video here.
Thank you, Governor. Bo Mason, Commissioner for the Utah Department of Public Safety. If you look up to the top left, you'll see the building where the shooter was proned out in the top left corner. We'll go ahead and play that video and I'll narrate as we walk through that. So here you see the suspect ran behind that upper building. He's going to come out on the right, moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to climb off the edge and then drop down to the ground. As he did that, he left some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black t-shirt, his black pants, and there appears to be some white on the soles of those Converse tennis shoes. Those are all identifiable items that we're looking for.
Black pants? You have him wearing jeans. In the photos, he's wearing jeans. He's wearing blue jeans. You're talking about black pants.
In the stills that are going to follow this, you're going to see a very distinctive t-shirt with an American flag and appears to have an eagle on it. There's also a baseball cap with a triangle on it and a pair of sunglasses. All distinctive, all things that we would ask the public to look for and try to identify if they know someone who has those items, who has been seen wearing those items.
This dude got away, bro.
We're looking for all that information. Here you see the suspect after dropping off the building. He moved around across this grassy area.
Where's his rifle? Is the rifle in the backpack? Where's the rifle?
Around the parking lot. We're going to pan to the right.
Is that what he's carrying in his hand?
After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area. This is the video evidence that we utilize to track.
The wooded area? Brother, where is the wooded area? The tree right there? Is that the woods? We found the woods. It's the tree. Where is the wooded area?
After he crosses the street, this is where he moves over into the wooded area.
Boy went into the woods. It's literally like a tree. Jumped off from here. So this is where he jumped off in the video. So here was his shooting position. Right there. And then he went this way, as predicted. And then went around. And then went to this edge. And then jumped off from here. And then went this way into the woods. Is this the woods? This has to be the woods then. That's what they're calling the woods. This is the only like batch of trees that could be considered that. This is the point where he's at here on the sidewalk. Crazy.
This is the video evidence that we
Do you have more?
to track
Do you have more? Like, why did it stop there? Why don't you follow
his movements and to locate that firearm in that wooded area following the discovery of this evidence. Good. You want to go to the stills? So here's the still photographs. I mentioned these have been enhanced. So these are slightly different than what we introduced earlier. Please pay close attention to the t-shirt. Like I said, very distinctive with that American flag and that eagle. The hat with
the words, though. The words.
the triangle.
I think actually Steve posted a screenshot of it. We looked it up ourselves, but Steve had posted a screenshot of it earlier. Let me see if he has it still. And a lot today. I needed some sleep finally. there it is. Land of the free, home of the brave. But it's a t-shirt, though, not the long sleeve one. And it was like, what was it? Land. This is the one that he got. This is the one that he was wearing. Yeah, that's the t-shirt that the shooter's wearing. Land of the free, home of the brave. Regardless, though, this is not the left. And then, bro, it's so bad on the back end of this with the right wing guys. They're settled into their bias and it's violent. Talking about their spiritual warfare and shit. Like I've deleted at least 13 people today that I used to know personally, actually, and have engaged with in my life, and I can't do it. I had to cut off my sponsor today from my softball team because they had their flag at half mast for Charlie Kirk. I'm not with that. You can mourn the loss of your favorite propagandist, but to lower the flag at half staff and give him military honors, go fuck yourselves. In the highest way possible. Charlie Kirk does not deserve that honor. He does not deserve any honor, to be honest, other than the memory, or other than to respect that we get the truth of his killing. That's the most I'll give Charlie Kirk in my life, is that we're going to try to get to the bottom of who murdered him, which is more than he would do for anybody that was a victim of gun violence or anything in this world. He was a piece of fucking shit because he believed in God. You can go to any church that is struggling right now and go and listen to the same religious shit that Charlie would like lightly say sometimes. Oh, black people are bad. Praise God, basically. Civil Rights Act was bad. Praise God. Oh, I like some of what Charlie has to say. Not everything. Get the fuck out of here. And then using our military like the Pete Hegseth did, using Charlie's name in the 9/11 victims and saying is in the same breath as the victims of 9/11. I'm so fed up with it. I am so fed up with it.
And the sunglasses.
Like beyond fed up with it.
Please. The backpack.
Bunch of domestic fucking terrorists, dude. All of them.
Well, all identifying features that we're hoping the public can help us identify and lead us to this suspect. Next picture. And again, there's a better picture of the hat with that triangle logo, and again, the t-shirt.
What are you going to do about it? I'm going to keep talking the truth about Charlie Kirk and others like him. And then maybe y'all will come for me then and say, Mercado's talking bad about Charlie. Let's cancel him. And then we'll all just live in that world. And then you guys can have your 1984 when we're all gone. And then you can be in the gulags. And then because after we're gone, it'll be y'all. So have fun with that.
Jeans, and you get a good look at those Converse tennis shoes as well. We have pushed these out. We'll continue to push these out. And we just ask for the public's cooperation. Like
if your take on Charlie Kirk is not that he was a garbage human being but didn't deserve to be murdered, then you're not like you are beyond. Like if you actually like are like sad crying about Charlie Kirk, other than the fact of like what happened, which was like to see how he went out, like that is something worth having emotions over, and how he was murdered. But the like mourning Charlie Kirk is disgusting. That guy did not mourn anyone that died. It would have been, if anything, Charlie Kirk's own murder. He would be he'd be sitting here talking about how Charlie actually wasn't killed. And this is like he would be going into, all right, Charlie didn't really die. He died of an overdose. I know we all saw him get murdered on video, and it's like in 4K in front of our eyes, but I don't think Charlie really died. I think Charlie, he had an OD. Yeah, he must have had an issue. That's what Charlie would be doing right now for days, nonstop.
Public, the tips that have been coming in are what are giving us our next leads and enabling us to continue to further this investigation. We've had great cooperation from the public, and we're continuing to ask for that as we move forward. Thank you, and I'll turn time back over to Governor Cox.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Mason. I want to thank Director Patel and his team. It's great to have them on the ground with us.
You said Charlie was a piece of shit. I only hope his children grew up to be better people now. Yeah, hopefully.
Tonight, we've had several briefings, and he's had an opportunity to walk the crime scene. We appreciate our local law enforcement here. Again, we have Mike Smith, who is the county sheriff.
They're talking about, like, Bolbert put up or no, Nancy Mace. Sorry, they're all the same. All these Republican bimbos are the same to me. Nancy Mace is calling to have Charlie Kirk lay in rest at the fucking Capitol Rotunda, you guys. That's where we're at with this horse shit. That's where we're at with this absolute horse shit. I will be introducing a resolution authorizing Charlie Kirk to lie in honor in the Capitol Rotunda, should the Kirk family wish for him to be honored there. Charlie Kirk devoted his life to defending the free. Give him, like, military honors, I'm going to puke. Then, so, number one, you're using our military to harass and abuse our citizens. You're bringing them into our cities, and then you're giving the same honors that you would to the military to these right-wing white nationalist fucks. These fucking rotted people that have no hope in hell, that have no hope on this earth at all at this point. If you're like a Charlie Kirk fan, the only way you can come back from that is if you disavow him and come back from that actually and figure out a better way to live your life than the shit he was preaching. And others like him, because he's not the only one. He's like a long list of them. He was a big one, big factor in the youth of the right wing indoctrination. But there's a whole long list of them. He's not the last one either. He won't be the last one.
Here we have all of our local chiefs of police that are here as well, all working hand in hand with the state and with the FBI as we move forward with this investigation. Now, I'll just give you a little warning. We will not be taking any questions at this time. We're giving you the latest information we have, being as transparent with everything that we have. But I do want to share a couple things that I think are important. We cannot do our job without the public's help right now. The public has answered our call for action. So far, we've received more than 7,000 leads and tips. I would just note that the FBI hasn't received this many digital media tips from the public since the Boston Marathon bombing. This case also highlights the dedication of our law enforcement community. We have 20 federal, state, and local law enforcement partners that are working shoulder to shoulder to find the person who committed this horrific crime. With their support, we've completed nearly 200 interviews. As you're aware, as has already been reported, the FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the person responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. We also continue to implore the public to support this investigation and come forward with any information. We are truly hopeful that this video and new photos will lead to even more tips. We are processing. We have an incredible team, a state and federal team working together to process those tips. We're going out in tandem to interview any potential person of interest or suspects. But we need, again, we need as much help as we can possibly get. Any videos or photos that you might have, the public, should be submitted to our digital media tip line, which is www.fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. Again, that is fbi.gov/Utah Valley shooting, all lowercase. You can also provide general tips about the shooting by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. That's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or at tips.fbi.gov. This is, I would just say, this is not just a local matter here in Utah. We have people all over the country that are helping to bring this perpetrator to justice for Charlie Kirk and his family. I will just add as well that, as was mentioned, there is a lot of forensic evidence that is being processed right now at both the state lab and the federal labs, federal lab on the East Coast. So we are working in tandem together. I would also just add a word of note for those people who are spending so much time on social media. I think Charlie said it best, that when things get bad, we should put our phones down and spend a little time with our families. There is a tremendous amount of disinformation. We are tracking our our team, the state team, and I'm sure the federal team as well, what we're seeing is our adversaries want violence. China, we have bots from Russia, China, all over the world that are trying to instill disinformation and encourage violence.
Not just them, though. Not just them. Right-wing propagandists, Elon Musk, all the GOP politicians, like every single one, except for Don Bacon and like Tom Tillis, but like they're not running again, so they can do that. Because the GOP is just going full Nazi, actually, like full on. Like they're like, they consider Charlie Kirk a moderate, you guys. That's how cooked it is. Charlie Kirk is considered a moderate Republican to MAGA and GOP because he did Jesus and God stuff, and like they don't believe in that actually. Like they got the like little cringe traditional religious people that they like tolerate, but they really are just like Nazi. Don't give a fuck about any of that actually, for sure.
I would encourage you to ignore those, to turn off those streams, and spend a little more time with our families. We desperately need some healing. We'll have more to say about that in the days and weeks to come. More than anything, we are going to catch this person. Last thing I will just say is we've been working with our attorneys, getting everything that we need, affidavits ready, so that we can pursue the death penalty in this case, and that will happen here in the state of Utah. Again, to the public, to those who are grieving, thank you for your prayers. I know we are feeling those prayers. I know the Kirk family is feeling those prayers as well. We pray that God will bless our nation at this very dark time. We can start healing by finding this perpetrator and holding him accountable, and we need your help to do that. Thank you.
No questions, and they need your help. You're going to offer the death penalty for someone they can't find. Don't worry. Ken, got you. Here, Ken wanted to know some of Charlie's lowlights. He doesn't have any highlights. They're just lowlights.
Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
You had to take a white person's spot to be taken seriously. You're a black person. You don't have the brain power to comprehend what we white people can do. Get the fuck out of here. I like some of what Charlie Kirk had to say. Not everything Charlie Kirk said was bad. Mercado, are you saying that you're justifying that he died? Like that, go fuck yourself too. Go fuck yourself. I'm doing more than every single one of your right-wing propagandists that you watch to figure out who killed Charlie. Literally losing sleep over it, actually, of this fucking loser, because I think Donald Trump and the government, or someone connected to Trump's government, killed him to make him a martyr and create the exact environment that we're living in now after his death, to distract from the Epstein files, to distract from Trump having to deal with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, because Russian bots are absolutely all over this. All of it is connected to that. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I was at with it right away when the shooting first happened, and we were on Google Earth in the first hours of this, and it's like, this isn't adding up. This doesn't make sense. How many more times do we have to say this doesn't make sense? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. But the very people that actually do love this fucking loser when he was alive have no interest in figuring out the truth of how he was killed. They're just like, it was the left. The left killed him because he spoke the truth. Yeah, this is some really great truth you fucks believe in. This is why we can't get along, and we never will. This is why America is at where we're at, because you have people that believe this guy is a saint and he's the arbiter of like what's good in this world, including my own fucking family, dude. It's bad. And a lot of you guys are going through the same shit right now. That we have Nazis in our family and our friends that believe that Charlie Kirk was a voice of reason out here. It's bad. That's how bad we are. And that's what we need to understand and recognize, that we are in a state of political violence on both sides of the political aisle, for sure. And we're also in a state of this white nationalism, fascism.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color. but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that.
She can't even say affirmative action. She got it wrong. That just shows how stupid she is because she's a black person and not white like me, Charlie. That's why he's laughing and giggling like that.
We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive.
This shitting on black women. Michelle Obama was the first lady of the United States. She hasn't really engaged in politics. Like, she's not a senator, not a congressperson. She's living a private life with her husband, former president of the United States. They are involved in things behind the scenes in terms of like community engagement and grassroots efforts and funding for all that, which is absolutely fine. But they're not. Michelle Obama is not in the political system of any of our government. To add her name into that just means he's picking black women that are left leaning and shitting on him because of his racism.
They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course. Oh no, imagine the world without Joy Reid. Imagine the world without Sheila Jackson Lee or Michelle Obama or Ketanji Brown Jackson.
We're imagining a world without them. Imagining a world without them. Is he being hyperbolic, you Nazis? Is he saying, well, he's not saying he doesn't want them to die. He's just saying he doesn't want them to be in the political system.
They think this is persuasive. They think as they kind of now reveal that I'm only here because of anti-white, anti-Asian forced discrimination policies that turned me into a bitter, resentful activist that hates white people, honestly, through our policies.
Yeah, I hate white people, and correct yourself.
We note in our piece that Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. And Kirk self-described very, very radical. View that...
He said, please stop giving air to this fascist asshole. No, because people think this guy's a saint, and they're in my comments crying. So you need to hear the words, and then you're going to say, wow, Andrew, you're such an asshole for playing Charlie's own words. I got so much victim-ass, bitch-ass responses from so many of, like, my old friends. Bro, and I'm sure you guys have, too. I posted the image of Charlie Kirk saying gun death's unfortunately worth it to keep Second Amendment, and my response was, "You're a sick fucking human, sick, gross." And I'm like, for sharing Charlie's own words? That's crazy. LOL, yes. Out of all the stuff going on, you post that, not about his kids that don't have a father, not fucking growing up. Your crazy fuck ain't worth killing people. Wild. And then I responded with the one that Charlie Kirk said that children should view public executions, which he also has said. No, people need to know exactly what this guy was about while he was alive to understand, then to really paint the picture of why there's like a large portion of our country that are mourning him and want to treat him like a fallen soldier of their little stupid culture war that they're fighting.
The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true. As we note in the piece, Kirk has previously described Kirk as a hero and a civil rights icon. It's true. I used to be wrong. What inspired Kirk to shift his view on MLK? Why does Kirk think that MLK is a bad guy? When Kirk says that MLK says, quote, one good thing he didn't believe, what does he mean by that? Why does Kirk believe passing the Civil Rights Act was a mistake? Now, again, apparently they don't listen to the show because we do that at least once a week, right? Once a week we talk about why the Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, once a week we talk about how that shit was not legit. Can't have the Civil Rights Act in America. Jack Pizzagates also who told me to go and step on a landmine in Ukraine with him and Ian Miles Chong. This is the Epstein Files guy with the binder. Ken, where'd you go? You don't want to hear this or what?
You were trying to get the officer who murdered George Floyd pardoned, and I just want to know what your reasoning was about that.
Well, George Floyd didn't die because of the police officer. He died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck, and we all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, "I couldn't breathe," well before that restraining technique?
Just lying. So you could, well, he calmly debated people. He calmly was sitting up there spewing his lies up there. And he has the freedom to do that. But to say like he was up there speaking truth, you're an idiot. He's up there speaking his truth, which is a crafted narrative.
And so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to restrain him, and they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Okay, so when does the like technique end? Like when they die? Like he said he couldn't breathe.
No, I mean the technique ends when the individual stops resisting arrest. His cause of death was not asphyxiation; it was drug overdose. He had
that was a part of it. Like he also had a heart like thing, and like he was on drugs, but like he wouldn't have just died if he was standing there. Like they had his their knee on his...
Well, actually, in my opinion, he would have. There is an argument out there that he would be dead based upon the drugs, but even though this guy and these other MAGAs that have no idea, I guess, about their own drug addictions, so where if you do more drugs, you can tolerate more drugs. The more drugs you do, the more you can tolerate than a regular person. So the amount of drugs George Floyd was able to do, and compared to like a person that's never touched drugs in their life, would kill that person. But George Floyd had a tolerance, which was all explained in the trial if you guys actually watched it, which I know a lot of you guys did. But the people that watched Charlie Kirk didn't watch the trial. They watched Charlie Kirk talk about the trial.
There's an argument to be made, according to the medical examiner, he was drug overdosing in real time. No, you're good. That it wasn't because of the police
he wasn't.
Officer Derek Chauvin that put his knee on the neck. And again, they were taught to do that. According to the Hennepin County Police Department, they teach that as an approved restraint technique. And by the way, this is just a broader point. Our whole country blew up because of this incident, and it was largely based on a lie. Largely based on a lie. We were all
What was the lie?
The lie is that there was a white police officer that went after a black person just because he was black, and it just...
Can we make a stupid shit Charlie said on Discord? Yeah, we should.
Wasn't true. He was resisting arrest.
I think we'll have like a Charlie clip for everything MAGA says now, and then they want to pretend like they're victims, and then we'll have like Charlie Kirk telling them to shut up. Basically, I think that's like because Charlie Kirk had very hateful views on people that were killed by gun violence and other reasons. So whenever you hear like MAGA tears, just give them a Charlie Kirk clip at them. I think that's the best way, because I'm seeing how they're reacting to Charlie's own words about gun violence, and they don't like it. They're upset at Charlie's words. They think we're the ones coming up with the words he said. So just clip him, and then if you hear victimhood, MAGA bitch mentality, give him a Charlie Kirk. Hey, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, pussy. Yeah, live the Christian. Yeah, you're not living up to your Christian nationalist roots or whatever. That Charlie, you're letting Charlie down.
Okay, but he killed him. Like that doesn't.
Well, again, the county medical examiner disagrees. The county medical examiner in the original report.
So then why was he? Why did he get sentenced?
Exactly.
Like,
that's a good question.
I'm saying
it's because it was largely a show trial where actually they were not.
Largely a show trial.
Leviticus 18 is that thou shalt lay with another man shall be stoned to death. Just saying.
Advocating for LGBTQ plus to be stoned to death by quoting the Bible. So like you can do that, but if I post Charlie Kirk's own words, then I'm validating like his murder to MAGA, and that's definitely what they're doing. Oh, are you saying Charlie Kirk deserved to die? I'm tagging the FBI right now. I'm sending your words to Pam Bondi, and I want you to go to prison for saying this about Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Charlie Kirk can like literally allude to stoning LGBTQ plus people to death. I'm just saying.
So, Miss Rachel, you quote Leviticus 19, love your neighbor as yourself. The chapter before affirms God's perfect law when it comes to sexual matters. Is in Leviticus.
Stand the word empathy. Actually, I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage, but I can't stand the word.
So in Charlie Kirk's own words, we shouldn't care at all about his murder, and neither should any of his supporters. If you actually are trying to live out his gospel, according to Charlie Kirk, empathy's woke. Well, empathy's New Age. We don't do that. So if you're crying about Charlie Kirk because you're a big fan of him, take his advice. Eat it. Suck it. Gun violence is a necessary end to have the Second Amendment or whatever he said. It's important. It's a part of it, according to Charlie Kirk. It's part of life.
It shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation. But I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that affected
in the last 80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
No, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just it shows they were actually.
Black people are worse off than they were during the segregation or even slavery we had in the country. So that's where Charlie Kirk was at, and that's just like a few clips. It's bad. You can see how if you watch that shit all day, you can become a dark person. You become an absolute subhuman piece of shit, to be honest. Watching that hateful shit, bro. FBI released a video of the shooter who murdered Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025. Following the shooting, the individual jumps from a rooftop and runs away from the location. Trace evidence collected from the rooftop includes shoe imprints, a forearm imprint, and a palm print. The shooter's weapon and ammunition were recovered from a wooded area near the university. The full video can be viewed at FBI.com. Maybe we can watch it ourselves now. You should post this. You can see him running on the roof. Jumping down off the corner of the building. He said he had the rifle in his pants. There's no way he has the fucking rifle in his pants. Stop it. His knees bend when he lands. Can't fit that rifle in your pants. You guys, did you ever have a rifle in your hand? Especially the rifle they were showing that was recovered is not fitting in the goddamn pants. I think it's in in the backpack. You can break it down, possibly. Why does it cut off there? Why doesn't it play out to show us what direction he walked? Where did he go after this point? Did he get picked up? Why does the video stop? I'm not stopping it. That's all we have. Why doesn't it play out and show like what direction did he walk? That way? Did he walk this way? Did he get did a car grab him? What happened? FBI videos releasing the shooter of the Utah Valley shooting. Subject is seen jumping from the rooftop of a building after the shooting at 12 p.m. Mountain Time on September 10th. The subject climbed up the rooftop. The person who showed the video indicated the shooter went into the wood. I know, but like they indicated that. I don't believe them. I don't believe the federal Kash Patel Donald Trump government. The fact that they cut this video off and it's like we're over a day and there's nothing, and the amount of immediate like coordinated hate that happened to the left, blaming the left after this happened, like immediately, like well Charlie the blood was still like coming out, and people were like already like the left did this, I can't believe so, before we even like saw the up close one. TMZ has a video of him rolling out. Before the shooting. Why is he limping? No, that was before the shooting. You see what it said? Before the shooting, he's limping before it. So maybe in this moment he has a piece of the weapon in his pants beforehand. He's not limping here because after he jumped off the building and now he's limping. This is before the shooting happened. Think he has that. I think maybe here he has parts of the rifle down his pants before the shooting. I haven't seen this yet until now. And what is this? Is so weird, dude. Just a guy walking down the neighborhoods. Is this guy from the area? What is happening? And then after the shooting, just like he's just walking in the neighborhoods. Like, where did he come from? Like, either what was the origin point? Are we going to see him come back out again? Or like, what are we looking at? Oh. Well, he's able to run just fine after jumping off the roof. He's able to run there. TMZ needs to fire those girls for laughing when Charlie Kirk died. Timestamp. That's what they're going after, by the way. That's what the right wing is focused on. They really don't give a fuck about solving his murder. This is what they're doing right now. Actually. This is the shit they're on. The Department of the Air Force is aware of inappropriate comments concerning recent political violence. This behavior is unacceptable and contrary to our core values. Airmen and guardians are expected to uphold the highest standards of professionalism and conduct at all times. Meanwhile, during COVID, they were like crying that they had to get the shot. And they were like posting on social media, crying and shit I couldn't do when I was serving. I would have feared my first sergeant. Meanwhile, they had these fucks posting like, I'm an army soldier and I'm quitting now. I'm not getting the clot shot. Openly expressing their personal feelings on social media. It is unacceptable for military personnel and Department of War civilians to celebrate or mock the assassination of a fellow American. The Department of War has zero tolerance for it. And then Pete Hegseth goes, we are tracking all these very closely. We will address immediately. This is like where it starts. This is where it begins, where in terms of like the censorship, and it'll eventually go to Trump, and like if you say anything bad about Trump, they will come and find you. This is where the GOP and the Republican Party is at. This is where they have been, but now it's just like they're emboldened because they have a martyr now. They have like a figure that just was murdered that they can use to fuel that for a long time now. Actually, probably some of these Nazis' lifetime. They're going to be emboldened by this. That's what they're on. They're going after people that are sharing their opinion on Charlie Kirk. But yet, when George Floyd was murdered, or anyone that isn't their MAGA fucks, then it's like, oh, all the lies and misinformation up the ass. All of it. Are you shitting me? This is the trans ideology from earlier? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Oh my God. Remember when we read earlier yesterday when we saw that Wall Street Journal reported there was trans ideology on the bullets? Oh my God. Throw something at my screen. Me throwing this at the people that were... Holy fuck, bro. The trans bullets. There's the trans bullet. No, the Trump administration killed Charlie. There's someone connected to the Trump administration killed Charlie to make him a martyr. And also because Charlie had power in the Republican Party. He was next. He built that empire for him. Had a whole youth group. Had the youth. When you have the youth, you can do anything. You have the power. Because you have molded minds that will last generations. The Trump administration killed him. It's like they in my opinion, staged Trump's own assassination, and that didn't hit the way that they wanted it to. They tried at first, and then it died out because of Trump's own actions. This one, they had to really hammer home. Made sure Charlie didn't suffer. Shooting him in the spot that would guarantee a one-hit kill. Trans bullets, bro. And then like they showed the image of the rifle and there was 0 etchings on it. There's some trans etchings on there and like anti-fascist messaging. Where? Even on the rifle, there was nothing like that. Oh boy. This might be the biggest scandal since the Epstein files, and that's still going. You got the Charlie Kirk false flag kill, and you also have the Epstein files happening. Isn't this great? Trans bullets, bro. TRN is a common brand stamp for bullets from some manufacturers. The Department of Justice probably thought this means trans rights. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, admin, the TRN on a bullet casing indicates the manufacturer was Turan, which is a Turkish ammunition company. Interesting. Do we have a name? To be your own people? Damn. Oh my God, bro. How has nobody identified this man yet? I pray his identified as apprehended. I'm going to pray for it. Oh my God.
Is it your understanding that this individual may be close by or still in Utah?
We have no idea.
We have no idea. I don't know. Trump will start a war in like 2 days or something, and then we'll just like have to accept that Charlie was murdered, and the narrative of like the left did it will like sit instead of like getting the facts, and like that's how it's gonna work. I think this is how this is gonna go. This is gonna like kind of get weird, weird, we don't know, and then like eventually like Trump will like war and like send the troops into Mexico or something. And then like obviously that will captivate everyone and we'll all be looking at that. And then Charlie Kirk and Epstein files and all this other stuff that's happened. Blah, 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 blah. But all the rhetoric that was given from yesterday from all the right wingers on like the left did this and this, now we're at war with them. Like that is going to stay. That ain't going nowhere. I really think this is how this is going to play out. I don't think you're going to get a shooter or anything. You got what we got. And like, Trump will go, are we still talking about Charlie Kirk shooter? Are we still talking about that? The left did it. I already said so. That's, I think, exactly how this is going to play out. If I'm wrong, then clip me, I guess.
Is it your understanding that this individual may be close by or still in Utah?
We have no idea. We're exploring leads for individuals out of state and individuals that live close by. We literally have persons of interest, tips coming in on the tip line that are spanning far and wide.
Is it
We have no idea.
Is it your understanding that this individual may be close by or still in Utah?
We have no idea.
We don't know. It's already, the left did it. So like, would you really care? I mean, come on. You really want to solve Charlie's murder? We already said the left did it. Is that not good enough? Oh. Well. That's what happened. What are they thinking right now? We're a part of a false flag. We are a part of a false flag attack on an American. That's what they're thinking. Just remember, Trump was absolutely fine in sending his base at the Capitol, knowing that there were armed Capitol police. Ashley Babbitt was killed. They didn't give a fuck. I mean, it's a means to an end. That's how Charlie Kirk put it, right? Charlie Kirk's very own words and what they believe in was that gun violence is a means to an end, to have the Second Amendment. I don't think that Charlie Kirk wasn't the only one that believed in that. And now amplify that to people that had more power than Charlie. Charlie had a lot of power, but not the presidency, and Charlie was connected to billionaires, but not like Trump can. That said, Charlie Kirk was not a truth teller. However much people might not want to declare his eternal martyrdom. I got some calls over the past day from friends and acquaintances wondering how I was holding up, seeing as Charlie Kirk and I must have been part of the same industry or field, but I empathetically reject that I was ever in the same profession, if you want to call it that, as Charlie Kirk. He was a mouthpiece. He was a government functionary, a mouthpiece. He trafficked in ludicrous propaganda on behalf of the administration he loyally served, and was doing this basically 24/7 in the extremely recent past. Perhaps most notoriously after taking a personal phone call from Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk hopped onto his podcast the next day and proclaimed, honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. Right? When the Epstein files, I'm keeping that photo up. When the Epstein files were coming out. Honestly, you know what? Hey, we're done with the Epstein files. Okay? And you are too.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. Honestly.
Your balls in? Oh, not anymore, but. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government. Then he brazenly tried to deny that he said this or insist it had somehow been taken out of context, which it hadn't. The context was that Trump got annoyed that a bunch of people had criticized him over Epstein at Kirk's Turning Point USA conference, which they did. And then Trump called up Kirk. His conduct was even more egregious in the run-up to Trump's bombing Iran in June. During that episode, he pretty much served as a blatant government disinformation agent, Harsh as that might sound after he was brutally gunned down yesterday, it's simply true. His mission was to demand uncritical faith in the U.S. government during a time of war, which is totally inexcusable for anyone who would consider themselves as anything even remotely approximating a journalist. But that's clearly not what Charlie Kirk considered himself. Instead, he considered himself a government media mouthpiece. On April 3rd, he said a new Middle East war would be a catastrophic mistake. Which is that like the takes that he would say, and then he'd walk it back that some people could agree with? But then he'd walk it back right after getting a phone call from Trump that you guys all that MAGA loves too. And you can't say that, Charlie. Oh, we love censorship. We cried about free speech and censorship and the what was it, the Twitter files. You don't care about other files though, like pedophiles. You cared about the Twitter files though. But then by June 17th, as drumbeats for the U.S. joint Israeli war against Iran were intensifying to full volume, Charlie changed his tune to mollify Trump, whom his whole identity was built around sycophantically serving. It is possible to be in extreme isolation, as Charlie Kirk warned his massive audience. President Donald Trump is a man made for this moment, and we should trust him. This was just pathetic. Turn off your critical thinking skills and place unquestioning trust in the U.S. government to wage a war on false pretenses. What an awesome, noble truth-telling. Charlie Kirk was a propagandist. You'd be up there with he'd probably be employed by Goebbels. Or Russia. To be operating the bot farms. There was no truth in what Charlie Kirk said. Ever. One of the only piece of factual reporting that Michael Tracy has ever done in his life. And also, you may mention a comment the other day about the killing of Irina Zarutska, in which is Michael Tracy. Again, this is Michael Tracy. Who he goes, oh, I guess the right wing cares about Ukrainians now. And I'm like, golly, who is this Michael Tracy? And the same one from 2022, or maybe it is, but he's just playing grifting games. Because he's nothing to trust or follow beyond like reading what he has to say sometimes. Not someone you want to like engage with, because he was justifying Russia's invasion of Ukraine right away, and then saying that it was a NATO proxy war and taking photos of NATO military equipment, posting it on his website, saying, "Oh, NATO is moving. They're the ones that are provoking Russia." So he's on that shit. So it's like he ain't worth a damn really either. When I say that many influential people on the right are weaponizing this unfortunate event, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This reprehensible, wretched person who psychologically tortured the parents of dead children, literally. Vile scumbag of Alex Jones. At his base, his followers were calling in the victims of gun violence in the Parkland shooting and others to call the families of the victims and say, you're lying about this. How would that be? MAGA, that's watching silently because you know that you can't say nothing and my chat's going to cook you, but you're still watching. How would it feel if I had my followers call Charlie Kirk's family and tell them, hey, I don't think Charlie Kirk was really murdered. Hey, I think you're lying about Charlie Kirk being murdered out there. How would that feel? And then you wonder, like, we're in the situation in which we're at. The trans bullets. Or the Turning Point USA crowd, or the actual MAGA kids that were out there and have them call their families. I don't think you saw Charlie Kirk get murdered. I think you're making that up. That's what Alex Jones did, and had his callers do. So according to a preliminary internal report circulated inside the Bureau of ATF, federal and local officials recovered ammunition with the shooter's rifle that appeared to be engraved with statements expressing transgender and anti-fascist ideology. But a senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned that report had not been verified by ATF analysts. Do you think that Steven Crowder cooked that up himself, and that's why he got subpoenaed? Remember we read Crowder had an exclusive, and it looked weird. He said he had a source in the ATF give him some shit. Just received word that my company is being subpoenaed by the ATF. No details. Senior law enforcement official with direct knowledge of the investigation cautioned the report had not been verified by ATF analysts, did not match other summaries of the evidence, and might turn out to have been misread or misinterpreted. In fast-moving investigations, such status reports are not made public because they often contain a mixture of accurate and inaccurate information. Yo, this was the biggest false flag we've ever been a part of, I think, y'all. In terms of, like, not Charlie Kirk was really murdered, but not for the reasons that they said he was, in terms of, like, the left killing him and painting a picture for everyone as to why Charlie Kirk was murdered. This is the Trump administration at play, y'all. Like, in their full form. And it's not good. It's pretty scary, to be honest. And if you're like MAGA, you should kill Charlie. Oh, you're right. It all makes sense. Sorry. Yo, I'm sorry. Oh my god, that's crazy. All right, there's some trans ID. What the fuck? Yo. What the fuck? Yeah. Obviously, those were AI generated bullets. Those weren't real bullets. But that's like to give an idea of what, like, how this clown shit ass narrative is sounding. They put trans ideology and anti-fascist. There's a joke there, but I'm not gonna say it. I won't go that far right now. Civil War LARPers right now, literally every MAGA you know. Oh, I got it. You got the clip. This is gonna live into infamy. I hope y'all know that. The way y'all are reacting to Charlie Kirk being murdered is we're never gonna let that go. Never, ever, never, ever, never, ever. This is y'all forever now.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people.
Can you imagine how he talks to, like, if he has a wife or a husband or anything? Can you imagine him at home and what that person's like dealing with? And like, if he can, like, bro, he is like cooked. Like, he has veins popping out of his forehead. The fucking veins are popping out. Holy shit, bro.
Oh, who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving in a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it!
I'm so pissed. That's MAGA calling for civil war over this. I'm so pissed. So mad. They have no idea what they've unleashed. The moderate right died today. Yeah, the Nazis out there holding the moderate right signs. Patrick Bateman aura farming, which is like ironic in all ways. Even oh boy, you guys got to look into American Psycho and like how people misinterpret that whole thing. Same with Starship Troopers. Those two movies were made ironically in an ironic fashion, not like to take them at face value, but people do. Those both of those films have messages, and it's not like to do anything. If anything, like you had who played Bateman? It was Batman. Help! What was the name of that? What's the name of that actor? Golly, I'm drawing a blank with all this. Yeah, Starship Troopers is good, but it's like it talks about it's not, its message isn't like to we're fighting the aliens. It's like imperialism and shit. Christian Bale, yeah. He's talked about it afterwards too, that the people that are glorifying that his character and the movie American Psycho are missing the message. It's to mock people that are like that. The whole movie of American Psycho is to mock that. Yes, there's violence in it and all that shit. He's a serial killer, but like, it's to mock all of that. The whole aesthetic of that. Even like the card scene when they're at the table and they're showing their business cards. That's comedy actually. How big is what's the font? You have the it can view it as a comedy in some ways, other than like the murder parts and shit, but because they're making fun of the people that would view, like the very people that are like aura farming American Psycho without critically looking at it is getting it wrong.
Moves to this far right corner. As he does, he's going to...
Yeah, but I mean, I'd argue American Psycho and like Starship Troopers are a little harder to identify right away.
He left some palm.
They're good movies. Like they're really good movies.
Some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes. Again, we'll replay that again so you can get another view of that. It's important to note his black T-shirt, his black pants.
And why does he say black pants? That throws me so off when the images that we have are blue jeans. You know what I mean? Here's the latest images posted a couple hours ago. Why would he say black pants? Is it because he's looking at the video and they look like they're black pants in the video that we're looking at? Like, why wouldn't, I mean, I don't know. Is that a detail or am I just hyper focusing on that? Why wouldn't he give an accurate description? Like he's male, wearing a black t-shirt, and he doesn't even say what's written on there. Why doesn't he say what's written? Land of the free, home of the brave. It looks like they know exactly what's written on the shirt. They know exactly what's written on this thing. And like they're leaving out details it's weird. This isn't normal. Let's just put it that way. We have now, like, for sure, on my platform, have seen so many press conferences after tragedies, and we've seen so many on how it goes, and this one is so different. From having the FBI director posting that they have the suspect, that we don't have the suspect, the school did it, and they don't have him, then we have two people, but they were both released. Having press conferences, the first one with just the DPS guy and one FBI agent. No local police, no sheriff's department, no, because usually in tragedies after this, you have like a team of law enforcement of like federal, state, local, and they're standing up there because we're standing in this to solve who killed Charlie. And none of that's happened. They just had it recently, but you had Kash Patel and others just kind of stand there. They're saying this just ain't right, dude. Young Republicans speak out. I think people are going to become a lot more radical than they are.
Reeves out front.
To vote for Trump again in 2024, you have to be a radical in your brain, or the dumbest thing ever. Then like you don't care about politics at all, and you just like are so ignorant. And you're like, Trump man, or you like maybe in your brain, Trump man, Kamala woman. I got to go with the man. Or I don't know. I really don't understand it. But even to like consider Trump again. Like after what happened this first term, at the end of it, you'd have to be an extremist to like want to vote for Trump in this administration that we had. That's why I thought it was so obvious that Kamala was like, well, not perfect and definitely not that left leaning. Actually, was a better landing spot than Trump in this extremism that we have.
I didn't want to see that video. It just kind of popped up on my timeline on X. I mean, it was horrific. It was the worst thing you can imagine. And seeing that was really devastating.
Young conservatives are in shock at the apparent assassination of Charlie Kirk.
I take no pleasure in thinking this way, but things might be about to get a lot worse.
Like how, TikTok boy? They already look like they're ready to kill anyone that isn't a Nazi. Thank you, Merrick, for the coverage. We're living in dark times. Together we can get through this. I mean, look at his eyes. This is who Charlie Kirk was indoctrinating. You had him primed for this situation, if anything.
They were drawn in by the way Kirk mixed it up with ideological opponents on college campuses.
Your life began not at birth, but at conception, about 9 months before
That's your
birth.
opinion.
If I wear blackface and I don't become black, why does a man who wear a dress become a woman?
Wow. Holy, that Charlie would debate in good faith. Charlie was a good debater. Wow. Why is blackface wrong, but dressing up like a woman is okay? Charlie Kirk. Jesus Christ, brother. Then you gotta, guys, I keep reminding you just to hammer it home. This is a clip, but Charlie and thousands of other people like him do this all day long. And thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of Americans consume this content only. And this is how they get their information. This is how they learn about the world. This is how they get their outlook on everything, is through the lens of Charlie Kirk and others. All day long, chat. It's not, they don't break. They break to go to sleep. Or so oftentimes the boomers pass out in their chair watching Fox News until they just literally can't consume anymore physically. So they like pass out watching their right-wing media.
Man who wear a dress become a woman.
It was because of his quick wit. His debate style was much different than anyone really in the conservative movement had.
The 30
It's just a liar? Just someone that would sit up there and lie?
21-year-old founder of Turning Point USA inspired young conservatives to forcefully defend their beliefs even when outnumbered.
I think seeing someone that was like willing to stand up to huge crowds at liberal schools was really powerful. Going to a liberal arts college in New York City and Manhattan, of all places, it can be very difficult.
How does this happen, y'all? How does that happen? Holy shit.
To like navigate what you can and can't talk about.
It was just this place where I felt like I could be free, and some of my closest friends in my life I met at these events.
It's hard to escape.
It's where terrorists go to meet, domestic terrorists meet each other.
Especially in alternative media. The members of the MAGA movement who are now talking about war.
We're in a war.
Good versus evil and an American tipping point.
This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism
AI video of Trump
that we're seeing.
Charlie Kirk's a casualty of war. We're in this country.
We're at war in this country, casualty of war. And you got to realize they've been priming this. That's why I feel like Trump and the administration planned it. By the way, I'm not suicidal. By the way, I just need to say that now. I'm not suicidal. I love my life. I love my platforms. I love being able to share the news with you guys, and I'm in a good place. Okay, I got my struggles dealing with the news and like coping, but I play 2K on my gaming channel. I have no interest in dying. I have no wish to die. Any of that. Okay, just need to say that. Just need to speak that into existence. I'm actually afraid of dying, to be honest. Like, I want to live in so many ways. I am afraid of death, actually. Like, the idea of dying to me is scary. All right, actually. So I need to just let that be known. Anyways, Trump administration and MAGA and QAnon have been pushing this spiritual warfare for like 10 years now. That we're in a spiritual warfare. That's what QAnon was based upon. That they're fighting against a force of evil, demonic, left-wing politics. And this has been the right wing since at least Obama. Okay? And I can tell you that from coming from it, personally. And yes, I was indoctrinated, so I believed some dumb shit when I was younger. But this is what they're about. They've been about this for a long time now. And now that they have their martyr, this is how they can act upon this. And it's like the symphony is now in play for the right-wing ultranationalists to see what they're going to do here.
There's political violence on both sides, and political violence on both sides is equally reprehensible.
I think people are going to become a lot more radical. I think that goes without saying. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you could determine, but people are upset.
These young conservatives saw Kirk as a moderate and are unsettled that someone with his views would be killed.
For somebody who I personally consider kind of a normie conservative.
He's a normie conservative?
To be murdered, to be assassinated for those views, yeah, we're all struggling to process it.
The next person who starts to take his place is going to be much more far right.
Much more far right than Charlie Kirk, who said the civil. I already played it all for you. We're going further right than we already are. Meanwhile, we got like liberals and the right that are afraid of like communists, I guess. But you got like the full-throated GOP, the full-throated Republican Party in control of everything right now, going, we're going to go more extreme. We're already fascists, but we're going to go harder now.
Because in order to do that, you have to almost be willing to die for your opinions. I think that is, in a way, beautiful.
You have to die for your opinions? You have to what? Did she just say?
Be willing to die for your opinions. Place is going to be much more far right. Because in order to do that, you have to almost be willing to die for your opinions. I think that.
So they're all right saying we're gonna say some Nazi shit. We know that's evil, and we're really willing to die for it.
It is in a way beautiful. It's very.
This is why there's actually, you know what? There's a bigger problem. The biggest problem of the youth is not trans. It's the right wing indoctrinating them. At this age, with these kids are probably like their early teens. Holy shit, was I not thinking about, like, even as right wing as I was, there was no way I'm like, dude, Nazis, what's up? Hey, we probably agree, huh? Hey, fascists, yeah, definitely, I'm with that. I'm with that one. We're gonna talk with those people and like agree with them. It was usually the case where, well, there's extremists, but we don't condone the extremists. I know there's Nazis on our side, but we're not with that. No, that's like, now we're gonna literally embrace the Nazis now. Or we are gonna, like, Nick Fuentes is probably gonna be the leader of this now. Of this whole thing. And the Groypers are gonna take over now. Today is not the day for both sides lectures about President Trump or anyone else in the conservative movement. This guy sucks so bad. And he gets to go on Fox News or on CNN and just like smile at him and be a troll. Because CNN was like, we need to bring MAGA on because MAGA canceled us, so therefore we need to appease them. Dang, Robbie. We haven't gotten the toxicology report back on Charlie Kirk. There's a chance he might have had a fentanyl overdose right before the bullet hit. I mean, we don't know, do we? Have we seen? We haven't gotten the toxicology report yet. Or should I just cock some shit up like the right way, like Charlie and the right wing does, and just say, "Hey guys, I got some reports here. I got some reports from some sources." And then hold on, this is what the right wing does. Hold on. This is right wing media, guys. The reports have came in. Okay. The reports have come in, or this is my favorite that the right wing does, where they have like a bunch of papers out on their table, like they have a bunch of evidence. Guys, it's not looking good. I got sources in all the 3-letter agencies that say Charlie Kirk was actually overdosing. Yeah, actually he was overdosing before he was shot. Did he really die from the gunshot wound? You guys think so? I will never allow someone to rewrite Charlie's legacy. I'm disgusted that they tried to both sidesism bullshit. Okay, Russian, you suck, cuck. Guy's a traitor. Don't make peace with evil. Also, Chris Cuomo ended his show tonight with an on-air apology to me and Charlie for this. What the fuck?
I don't really care how we got here so much. There is a lot of blame to go around. I do not see you guys as victims. You give as good as you get. There is a lot of anger. There is a lot of exaggeration. It is all hate for profit on the fringe of this battling binary political system. My question is, my question is now.
I am disgusted by that. Chris finally said something true. I haven't heard a Chris Cuomo anything in years now. He's on News Nation now. Incredible.
What?
Charlie Kirk has never advocated. Charlie Kirk has never advocated violence ever. Charlie Kirk was only
I'm not saying
a nonviolent, peaceful debater. He went into places where he knew he was hated in order to engage.
I agree.
Kindly and humanly
that
with people.
he was not about violence.
For you to say that it's the same thing.
Oh, hold on.
It's not, Chris.
Hold on. I'm not talking about it with Charlie. Benny, don't play games with me. I'm giving you latitude because you deserve it, because this was your friend and this is scary and it hurts and it could have just as easily been you.
The dehumanization is wrong. It's wrong.
The dehumanization is wrong. See how they are? You see how you can't actually give them anything. Maybe you guys gave them like a day to like mourn, but after that, no. You can't give them this. You can't give them this moment, because then they're just going to use it to be like, anytime any criticism at all of anything that's right-wing is like evil and disgusted and twisted. They're going to do that. They're going to create a victimhood. They're going to create a aura of victimhood mentality around MAGA now, to where like if you criticize MAGA or Charlie, then you're being a disgusting human. Meanwhile, like Charlie Kirk and others like him were spewing hate on a daily basis, as we've already reviewed.
But there's no question. But Benny,
you'll never be able to chew me out, Chris, because I'll never dehumanize.
Benny,
if I hear that Joe Biden gets a terminal cancer diagnosis, I'll say a prayer for him.
Right. Holy shit. The same guy who said, hey, what did he say? Hey, money is a figment of your... Did I have that saved still? Money is just a figure of your imagination, basically. Oh my God. Oh boy. Benny Johnson money. I don't know if I'm going to find it. It's an old clip now. Your money is just a figure of... I can't remember it now. Whatever. It's probably in my bookmark saved somewhere. I really think we're getting nothing from the truth on this shooting after all this. Now you're reading about trans paraphernalia written on the cartridges of his rifle, so just going on and repeating lies?
Again, violence against Republicans. They don't talk about I can't frankly name a mass shooting in the last year or two in America that wasn't committed by a transgender lunatic that's been pumped up on probably hormones since they were 3-year-olds, because they want to normalize that. And if you say something about it, it's verboten, because we're supposed to trust the science, even if it's not science, and even if everyone understands it. Those people are protected, they are hidden, they are beyond reproach. You will never see the manifesto. Now you're reading about trans paraphernalia written on the cartridges of this rifle that killed one of my dearest friends in life. It is absolute sickness. And I think,
eventually we're going to have to come to terms with the fact that they want to fight. And whatever that means. Political violence is bad. It is, but when you have one side that's like begging for it and consistently lies that adds and fuels it, what do you think is going to happen? And I'm not going to allow this to take hold in the country without a fight. So I'm telling y'all that. And I know there's others like me that won't let that happen. They are in a full-on emotional, like this guy. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. Go take your emotions and go to therapy. Go see a therapist. I don't care. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care what type of... You're on some Nazi fascist shit? Bet. Even easier then. For me. You're gonna act like this guy.
This is such bullshit!
Then keep it to yourself. And mourn in silence. But if you want to start talking about, increasing the political violence out here, then there will be a contingent of people ready for that. I promise you. But only if y'all bring it. No one wants that shit, dude. No one actually literally wants it. If you want to see, you want to talk about war and all this fetishization of war, you have never even seen that. You don't know what that shit's like. People will, it is the worst you can ever imagine. Like, even the worst you can imagine, it's worse than that in terms of like a war. And you have LARPers on here calling for it. Conservative GOP LARPers calling for a civil war in the country. Meanwhile, they like have no idea how to even shoot, move, or communicate. They would likely die quickly because they have no idea how to navigate a battlefield. But yet they're out here LARPing. Sitting there, they could have spent the last few years looking at what warfare is like now with Ukraine, but they spent that time justifying Russia's invasion and ignoring all the videos of it. You really want to go there? I don't think you do. Because it ain't going to be like, you're not going to just steamroll Americans because you're like this guy.
Never been so pissed in my whole life.
Over Charlie Kirk. And the rest of us are like, well, you know, Charlie Kirk, the way he was murdered was bad, but we're not on the emotional bandwagon of whatever the fuck these Nazis are on over Charlie Kirk's death. We're certainly not in a good place. But let it not be... Is this the Naval Academy shooting? We reported on that earlier. The assassination was heinous, and I condemn it in the strongest terms. I will not celebrate it, but I'll be damned if lunatics like Laura Loomer can tell me how to feel or whom I should mourn. Literally. Nearly go fuck yourselves. Charlie Kirk was a piece of shit. Doesn't mean he deserved to be murdered over it, like I'll continue to say. But I'm not mourning over a white nationalist. Holy shit, bro. Where are we at? MAGA. That's where we're at. It's the result of the MAGA government.
So again, we are waiting for that casket to be lifted off of Air Force 2. From there, there is a
use the vice president's plane to transport Charlie Kirk.
hearse that's waiting. From there, they will leave Sky Harbor Airport and make their way to.
You'd think like conservatives would believe their own words when they say, we want small government, we like freedom, we like individual freedom. But yet this guy was the mouthpiece of the government, did everything the government said. If there was ever a narrative that questioned the government, he would like get a personal call from Trump and be like, oh, okay, my bad. And then go, hey, this is the government message now. And then also is about to get government, flags are flown at half staff. The president's personally on it, being flown on Air Force 2. Where are the conservatives that are about small government and not a fan of Big Brother or whatever? That shit's so dead. They love that, actually. They love that because they don't know how to live their fucking lives to their fullest by themselves and with their own little family. They need the government. They're actually the projection. They need the Trump government.
Yeah, so I believe it's called Hanson's. There's no confirmation on that. I do know that it's at 7th Street in Peoria. Yeah. So it's a pretty direct route. Peoria, just a couple of miles south of the 101. But again, if we do get this official motorcade, they should get there, I would imagine, in about 10 minutes. It should be
power or the technology to conduct a motorcade, and the locals do. And so with the motorcycles and those types.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Jade. All right, here we are, Charlie Kirk's body. And this is heavy.
Yeah. Now.
Being taken off of Air Force 2 right now. It's on a lift.
This is heavy. I'm so not with that.
It's in a...
What are we doing? What is going on? You have our military personnel transporting Charlie Kirk's casket as if he's a fallen fucking soldier, bro. I'm almost embarrassed that I served this country at this point, to be honest. I'm so serious. I'm like, the more time goes on, the more like my hat, the more all of this shit that I have, this is meaningless to me. You see that? This shit that I did is meaning less and less to me because of this government and these Republicans and the shit that's happening.
Wood casket and looks
lifted
like
by a number
you had soldiers that I served with that went and fought and died for this country that had this respect because they deserved it for dying for this country, and you have Charlie fucking Kirk getting the same respect as that, and that's sick. That is what's sick.
Looks like at least 6 or so people there.
It's like Air Force person. It's the Air Force Honor Guard is what we're hearing, and it looks like there may even be like a Marine in the back, or maybe it is all Air Force.
Right. And that was that apparatus that we had seen earlier. The big apparatus to move in to.
They had an actual. They used a funeral team for it. The Air Force funeral team. And probably are just attached to Air Force too, though. So it's like probably just that's how it goes.
Phoenix Metro standards. They're going to go from this area, which is basically just a little bit east of downtown Phoenix, and they're going to head it just a little bit north, basically 7th Avenue and Peoria. I'd imagine a 10 or 15 minute drive.
Well, and especially, Stanley, as you were saying, I mean, chances are the traffic will come to a halt in order for the Hearst to make a smooth transition.
And I've been watching them because dozens of people showed up. I don't know how many of our viewers have been on the rooftop of the Terminal 4 parking garage, but the entire side of it from east to west was ultimately lined with supporters of Charlie Kirk that showed up here to pay their respects. Not people that were here that just so happened to have a flight, people that took time out of their day to be here. I mentioned a military.
And when they end up having nobody to fight because nobody wants this, they're gonna find people to fight. They need a place to land all of this anger that they lost their white nationalist king. So the scary thing is when they realize, oh, we don't have anyone to fight, they're going to come find people. This is the guy who's supposed to be in charge.
Sorry about that.
Literally the director of the FBI.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he only leads the FBI. He's only the FBI director. The vast majority of Americans do not think it is ever justified to use violence to achieve political goals. And the minority of fools who think it might ever be okay, only a laughable fraction would ever do anything, literally. Like the quartering. This guy. This is who's calling for it. The type of people. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Anton. I don't think I'm buying that some leftist trans activist shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I am. I'm believing it because it's better for me. I want a list of everyone who has been fired for celebrating Charlie Kirk dying. I need a count. For what? What are you going to do? How many people have you gotten fired so far today? Milo. The woke right has arrived, you guys. Remember when they cried about people that are like left-leaning that were just like Twitter users that were like reporting people for writing Nazi shit in the old Twitter? And then now it's like, now the right wing is all about censorship and calling employees to get people fired and shit. They just didn't like it because they weren't doing it, and they didn't have a power apparatus to do it with. They were never really against it entirely. They just needed their version, and now they have it. Bunch of clowns, dude. Put this twat back to Somalia. I'll show you what Jeremy looks like too, just so you guys get an idea of like these people. More swatting is on campus. This is war. This is war. I think he even goes, I want blood. Or does he say that? I have been radicalized by the assassination of Charlie Kirk, starting immediately. I will be attending church weekly. I will make babies. With who? They're like LARPing, y'all. It's so fucking cringe. Here's the guy that's writing these posts, by the way.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering.
That's The Quartering. I will have babies. I will go to church. Isn't it wild that in the right now you're radicalized by your favorite podcaster instead of like just, you know, you're supposed to be raised with religious principles from your family. Why didn't you want to attend church weekly like 2 days ago? Why did it take this? I will get involved in local politics. I will get involved in national politics. I will use my platform to inspire others to do the same. Doxing people. The sicko has threatened my friend and family member, Melanie Mack. In the thread, you will find his Facebook and other important information. FBI Director Cash at FBI. We got Charlie Kirk and you're next. Quartering on YouTube.
I'll explain that more, but I think tonight we're gonna get a name and perhaps an arrest or a body retrieval.
And no, we haven't. None of those things have happened. But you're crying and doxing people, calling for war. Rest in peace, Wheezy. Jimmy Kimmel spoke out after Charlie Kirk was shot to death. Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it was horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? Yeah, that day was yesterday though. So new day now. YouTuber post Charlie Kirk deserved it. Every positive post about Charlie Kirk is either ignorance of who he was or support of who he was. And it's scary I can tell which. Among endless things, he was a proponent of the Great Replacement theory, the racist idea that immigration is a plot to replace white people. Okay, true. YouTuber post Charlie Kirk deserved it. Is that what he said, Quartering? You fat fucking liar. And you are fat. Let's do that first and foremost. Think we're scared of any of these fucking people, y'all? They're LARPers. They post on X and they get people angry and upset and then they do nothing else. They actually do nothing else. They'll like send their followers that are like would be about it to go do it, and then they'll sit at home and do videos about it. I want everyone's life completely ruined who is publicly celebrating Charlie Kirk dying. I don't care if you're a doctor or a cashier. I want you to suffer. Charlie Kirk, right-wing, stupid fuck, mega activist shot unalived on Utah campus. He is only the... Damn. Could we actually be getting smart and call? Okay. Damn. Pretty aggressive post. I've seen worse from the right, though. TMZ claims their studio eruption in joy and laughter at the... they laughed and celebrated? There's a guy that, like, right away was dancing and happy. Like, look at this. This is a crazy clip, yo. Yeah, what is this? It's a crazy clip, that's for sure. That'd be crazy. That's nuts. That clip is nuts. Yeah, that one, and then the guy taking selfie videos right after the shot were fired. That's how much the people that were around Charlie cared about him, actually. His own base was out there stealing the hats after he was shot. That guy was obviously opposed to Charlie Kirk in many ways. But yeah, the one guy stealing hats, handing them out. There you go. Right after Charlie was murdered. Right after.
Yo, grab your hat. There you go. Guys, come on.
There you go.
Let's go, guys.
Who else needs a hat? You need a hat? I got you. He's dead now. We can take his hats.
I don't know. Let's go. I have no idea. Let's go. Come on, guys. What are you doing? Get the fuck out.
Or I can't find the TikTok clip anymore, but there's a guy that went on like TikTok and was like, "We're out here. Holy shit. I can't believe it. We're in a shooting. It's wild." Smiling in the video and shit. Oh, we have a take from a police officer.
You know, I told myself I wasn't going to make this video, but I'm going to make it. You know, when Joe Biden was falling upstairs and falling downstairs.
I'm going to listen up, liberals. Joe Biden. I thought we were going to hear something profound, actually. Listen up, liberals. When Biden was falling up the stairs, I said nothing. I didn't care. Biden falling. Yeah, this is the same for sure.
You know, I told myself I wasn't going to make this video, but I'm going to make it.
Oh, boy.
You know, when Joe Biden was falling upstairs and falling downstairs and falling off of his bike and crapping his pants in public, in front of the Pope, no less, sure, we poked a little bit of fun at him.
You guys are saying Biden was a corpse, but like either way, why are we framing this in a Biden framing instead of like who killed Charlie Kirk? And Charlie Kirk was murdered by a sniper, and we need to figure out who did it. We're aura farming political bullshit, and like now we're talking about Joe Biden. That's why the police are fucking worthless. So this is a perfect example right here.
Because it was embarrassing for us as a country.
Oh, was it? Yeah, but not the current president. That is literally like during the 9/11 speeches today, having a literally like dying as he's sitting in there. You guys are like, all the projection of Biden is actually coming true for Trump. Isn't that weird? Isn't that all? Biden as old as he was, and yes, old. Yes, voice was raspy. He did it though. Biden did it. Trump, meanwhile, doing AI generated videos because his health is so fucked. Trump. I don't know if we'll get a video right away. There it is. There it is. Holy 595,000. Damn, I should have said it right away then. My bad. I should have just said what everyone else was thinking too. My bad for trying to like wait for facts and evidence. Holy shit, over 500,000 likes on that one. Yeah. And right-wing logic, then it must be true. Huh? Anyways, back to this cop.
And then when he was diagnosed with cancer, I don't remember seeing a single conservative Republican wishing him to be unalived. But yet, you fucking liberals.
Is this guy a taxpayer? Is this guy paid by taxpayers? Or is this a K9 unit? Robin and Bat Dog. This is definitely a taxpayer funded cop. You can take his job.
Try to assassinate our president when he was running for office again.
Looks like he's a Texas cop. So
not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Listen up, liberal.
And then you go after and assassinate this young man with a wife and 2 children simply because of his values.
And this is a cop too. Isn't that scary? The ones that are responsible for like when crimes happen, and then they gotta like get the bad guy, and then here you got a cop talking about lies, blaming the left, and played political games. This guy should never have a badge again. We should find out who this person is actually, and make sure that they lose their job for being a taxpayer-funded cop, and you're being political as a cop. Robin and Bat Dog on TikTok.
And his religious beliefs. And also the fact that he was a shit-hot debater, and you really stood no chance if you were on the opposing side with him.
This guy should never be a law enforcement. This guy should not be on the streets of any law enforcement at all. But he's Texas, so he might actually be fine.
He was well-read. He was well-educated. He was self-educated. Like he openly stated, he never went to college. He was just a high school graduate. And he made something for himself. And in the last 20 minutes, I have seen nothing but hate and spew vomit come out of liberals' mouths.
So do something about it, cop. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, cop? Taxpayer-funded cop?
All over social media.
Yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Free speech is bad? What are you going to do?
Elated and happy that Charlie was assassinated simply because of his beliefs.
Freedom of speech. Charlie had the freedom to say all the hateful shit he did every day. That's why I'm censoring shit. Ricardo, you should read what your comments are saying. I read them every day. Even the ones of the MAGAs that are calling for my head when I'm posting truths about Trump every day. They're still in my comments. The fuck out of here. Go be a victim to where you can be held by other people that are perceived victims. It's not going to be in the rest of us. You gotta realize 75 million Americans were against this, and Trump has lost even more. So they can feel emboldened. Remember that. Just never forget that. I know it might seem scary right now, but you got an emboldened fraction of this MAGA thing, but a lot of them are already fallen off. Maybe Charlie getting murdered will re-embolden some of them, but if we don't get a shooter or anything, I think like over time, people will just not care anymore because we have mass shootings every day and people don't care. So I don't see how Charlie Kirk could be different, but again, the right wing's a cult and they like hold their figures in high value as if they're like a Jesus figure or like a really higher power figure out here on earth. So it could be different. We'll see. But you had like Trump only had won by 2 million votes, and he's lost a lot of the people that had supported him over the past 9 months based upon his own actions or inactions, tariffs, cost of living, name it, benefits being stripped, or at least trying to be stripped.
Y'all just definitely opened up a can of worms you're going to wish to Christ that you freaking never even touched.
Yeah, this cop needs to lose his job unless he's like the bail bondsmen that dress up like cops. Those are you guys ever see bail bondsmen that deck out their cop car and shit and like make themselves appear as if they're a cop? It's so fucking cringe, brother. They're not the ones that serve you with shit. You gonna cry? Are you gonna cry? Oh, guys, he's gonna cry. He's holding it in. Wedding bands are worn on the right hand, right? Or is it on the left hand? I've never been married.
Sick of this shit.
He's a legit cop? Oh, yeah, he needs to lose his job. Yeah, literally. He's gonna go out and kill people legally with this. So take his badge, figure out who he is. Robin and Bat Dog. I'm not on TikTok like that. This officer literally said what I was thinking. Then y'all go ahead, start it. So I'm telling you. The only people that will bring political violence like this is the right wing like that. In 2015, 9 black parishioners were murdered during a Bible study at Emmanuel AME Church, the oldest black church in the South. Among them was a pastor and Democratic State Senator Clementa C. Pinckney. The killer was a 21-year-old white supremacist. This is how President Obama responded. In moments like this, presidents can choose to claim the nation and offer in grace or to inflame divisions and pit Americans against one another. Don't let leaders use tragedy to divide us. Don't let them attribute the evil actions of an individual to an entire group. Not only is that collectivism, it's a tool of manipulation and control. So here's what Obama had to say.
That's what I felt this week. An open heart. That more than any particular policy or analysis is what's called upon right now, I think. What a friend of mine the writer Marilyn Robinson calls that reservoir of goodness beyond and of another kind, that we are able to do each other in the ordinary cause of things. That reservoir of goodness. If we can find that grace, anything is possible. If we can tap that grace, everything can change. Amazing grace. Amazing grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Cynthia Hurd found that grace. Susie Jackson found that grace. Ethel Lance found that grace. The Payne Middleton doctor found that grace. Iwanza Sanders found that grace. Daniel L. Simmons Sr. found that grace. Deronda Coleman Singleton found that grace. Myra Thompson found that grace. Through the example of their lives, they've now passed it on to us. May we find ourselves worthy of that precious and extraordinary gift as long as our lives endure. May grace now lead them home. May God continue to shed His grace on the United States of America.
Hey, YouTube. How did we go from that? How the hell did we go from that to what we have now? How does that happen? How does it go from that to what we have here?
Fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever.
and not the political process, into the right-wing indoctrination process. Not like just to introduce them to the idea of politics, and then you choose your own adventure based on learning about the systems of government, how bills are passed, basically like a modern age Schoolhouse Rock. That's not what Charlie Kirk was doing.
To share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense.
Ironically, my public school, because I went to public school, shout out to everyone else that went to public school, let's go. We made it out just fine. They would wheel Schoolhouse Rockin', and that's how we learned about the government and politics. Teacher would be hung over, wheel in the video, be like, listen to Schoolhouse Rock. And when we were in school. And now these kids are going to Nazis like Charlie Kirk.
On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
That's exactly what Charlie would do. You're projecting onto what exactly Charlie, you, and your entire apparatus do.
For years, those on the radical left.
I mean, that's why I played Obama and then Trump, so you can just see the exact difference in the messaging. When Obama started singing, I mean, anything, like, I'm not religious at all, but I could get down with a politician that would be, like, at least treating it with respect. I'm still not going to, like, be religious. But I can be down with a politician talking about God and, like, God bless America if, like, the energy has empathy with it. And some of the teachings that if you are Christian or whatever, like, some of, like, it's supposed to match. But also respect the separation of church and state. So while the politician could do that, they also respect the fact that you are not religious. Trump and the MAGA thing don't do that. If you're not a Christian white nationalist, then we're cooked.
Have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well.
It's so wild. His whole hand here is still. Like, there's not. It's a still image with this hand. Like the arm and the wrist don't move. They had his fingers moving just to, like, try to give it the idea that he was speaking, but no.
As those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of
They're tying in the Brian Thompson and Luigi to this all.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit them.
It looks like the shooter from Butler has the same aura as the shooter that shot Charlie Kirk. Same looking archetype. Which, by the way, the shooter that they picked for Trump was a Republican anyway, so it was weird.
Themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America.
Completely different messaging from one president to another one. Breaking left-wing Why would the European Parliament have to observe a moment of silence? Oh boy, what is happening?
Rhetoric that incites violence. Please stand with me in reflection and prayer in his honor, and I yield the rest of my time for a moment of silence.
Herr Kollege Reimers, wir haben abgesprochen, Sie wissen, die Präsidentin hat eine Schweigeminute abgelehnt.
Why is Europe? Oh boy, y'all are that cucked, huh? Is it that bad? It's that bad, huh? That's why no weapons can go to Ukraine, and why Europe can't just do something about Ukraine. They're sitting there. They're sitting there having a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk, for an American propagandist. What the fuck, bro? Holy shit.
Shut up.
Abstimmung, Eintritt in die
Europe gonna fight over this too? Oh boy. Most incompetent pieces of shit I charge right now, man. Podcasters should never be in leadership positions. That should be a normal take. Sean Pinner, before there's even a motive, before there's even a suspect in custody, Trump and Fox are already pushing their agenda. It's extremely worrying. So this is more rhetoric from the right wing tonight.
But this agony we're all feeling must not dissipate into a stubborn apathy or morph into a violent rage. But we do need to embrace the truth at the same time that the left has a lot to answer for at this moment.
Like what? Like what, Laura Ingraham?
We've been warning for years that their rhetoric would lead us to a very dark place.
More from right-wing influencers.
Over the past 24 hours, I've seen some in the media, some of the very same people who intentionally stoked murderous hatred against people like Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk specifically, now saying that we need to turn down the temperature and start having conversations. Well, Charlie tried to have conversations with you on the left, and you killed him for it. You're killing us in our churches. You tried to kill our president. You killed one of our greatest advocates in Charlie Kirk. You have been openly cheering for and celebrating and encouraging and committing political violence for years. Antifa, BLM, well-funded, highly orchestrated, widespread movements based in and fueled by violence. You made a hero out of Luigi Mangione. And you celebrate Charlie's death even now. It's too late to turn the temperature down. This is not a time to hold hands. It's a time for justice. It is a time for good to fight back against evil. It is.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Matt? What are you going to do?
Time for the righteous to prevail for the sake of our country and for our families and our children and for Charlie.
Counterpoint, you didn't. Poland's closed the border with Belarus. Things should be heating up in Europe, though. We're in geopolitics. So we got some shit happening here at home. Obviously, multiple shootings, 4 days straight now. And then you got Russian drones that went into Poland and broke their airspace. Article 4 has been enacted. And you got Poland closing the border with Belarus, which is a Russian proxy country. Belarus is. Things are happening. More distractions from what? You have to be able to navigate multiple things at once. There's never one topic of interest. Never one. Some of them can be connected, but this I'm so over that. This is all happening. Like we're just one thing. There's a world at play, and other things are happening across the world. You know, the center of American focus is Charlie Kirk's murder, but like the world, like not in Poland, not in Ukraine, not in Gaza. They don't give a fuck about Charlie. They don't even probably know who Charlie Kirk is. They're getting ready to go to war with Russia and defend against Russia because Russia isn't stopping their invasion of Ukraine and they're extending it. So like you have to be able don't be distracted by the one story. Don't be distracted by the one story you're focused on. Be able to navigate multiple. After the excursion on Poland, now is the time to show strength. Appeasement is not strategy. We need scorching sanctions that will cripple Putin's economy. Okay. So it's one thing as like someone that's reporting news. Let's go back to Charlie Kirk again and the shooting that's happening on geopolitics. But it's one thing for me to tell you guys to take a break because I'm keeping you guys updated with all of the latest important information. I think it's another to have the ones that are investigating it and the governor tell you to put your phone down and spend time with your family. Almost as if like the way I'm receiving it from them is to like, hey, just kind of let this thing go away. I had MAGA responding to me with that right away. I was like, I'm going to investigate Charlie's murder. And MAGA was like, is now really the time? Is now the time to, like, what do you mean, bro? What are you talking about? Otherwise, what do you want are you worried that it might not be, that's what it is. They're worried that it might not be their narrative that they painted right away. So they're trying to cope and hide in a corner and keep themselves, no, hey, we already claimed it was the left. It was the left. We don't want to hear anything else. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. And also we're like absolutely Nazis now, for sure. We are now Nazis, thoughts and prayers, and we don't want to actually know the truth. Perfect time for investigating murder. A couple of your guys' supports really quick. Gifted membership from Fancy Pants. Thank you, William, $5. Rush Limbaugh, James Dobson, Hulk Hogan, Charlie Kirk were assholes when they were alive and nothing changed. TMZ has a video of him walking away. Yep. Okay, some of you guys' older chats. Ken Custer, thank you for the gifted. Fancy Pants said chat is popping. Like, subscribe, and send super chats. If you would like to. Don't feel obligated to. I'd just rather have you like the stream and subscribe so that way I get more people tuning in. Sator, thank you for the 5. Timu Brown shirts. Iconoclast said, Merc, look up Horst Wessel. Who's Horst Wessel? We still have nothing new on the shooter, though. Like, if you're like that, well, let's just check. Let's check. The Hoffman family responded to it. Who was murdered? Hold on. We'll get to that story. That was Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, who was murdered. To Vance Bolter, who was a MAGA extremist, actually. Live updates. These students asked Charlie Kirk questions before he was shot. Okay, just more context. Utah Valley student recalls seeing man walking on or near Loesch Center roof twice in 2 weeks. A Utah Valley University student told CNN on Thursday night he saw a man walking on or near the roof of the Losi Center twice in the last 2 weeks. The student said he was not sure it was the same person depicted in photographs released by police in connection with Charlie Kirk's killing, but that the individual looked familiar. The student said it was so unusual to see someone on that part of the roof. It was weird. Yeah, I mean, unless it's a maintenance worker up there with gear on and like a vest. The student said he last saw the person on the roof last Wednesday at noon, a week before the shooting. He told CNN that he reported his observations to the FBI tip line. Wow. Well, that's the budget. That's the budget cuts that Trump did, and he literally they fired the Utah Salt Lake City. I'll look up Horst Wessel. FBI agent fired. Fired FBI agents sue Kash Patel over retribution claims. One of them was the Salt Lake City. Hold on. Salt Lake City FBI agent. Here you go. Scrutiny mounts of FBI under Patel as Kirk's killer remains at large. Already a series of missteps by Kash Patel, FBI director, in recent months have invited worries that he has eroded public confidence in the agency. He eroded the public confidence the moment Trump nominated him. The moment we were going to hear that Kash Patel was going to be our FBI director was the moment that I'm like, oh, I've lost all faith in the federal government, actually. Well, yeah. Complete, like, there's nothing. It's all completely 1984 MAGA. On Thursday morning, a day after hastily suggesting the person who gunned down Charlie Kirk was in custody, Kash Patel, the FBI director, convened an online meeting with 200 agents around the country to discuss the manhunt. It was a tense affair. Mr. Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino, another MAGA like, you know what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino have in common? They were the same as Charlie Kirk. They're like the same type of propaganda, same messaging, same bullshit, but now they're like in the government. And Charlie would have been too. Charlie was on his way. He would have been some important figure in the government eventually. Mr. Patel and Deputy Dan Bongino made it clear they were under intense pressure to catch the killer of Mr. Kirk. They expressed themselves with such fierce urgency that, in the view of some participants, it hinted at another motive to prove they were up to the task. The director wasted no time before calling out subordinates that he had said failed to give him timely information and was incensed that agents in Salt Lake City waited nearly 12 hours to show him a photo of the suspected killer, according to 3 people familiar on the exchange. Mr. Patel said he would not tolerate any more Mickey Mouse operations, an official on the call recounted. It was one of his few utterances without profanity, the person added. The killing of Mr. Kirk on Wednesday not only poses a challenge to our agents racing to find the shooter, it also represents a grave leadership test for Mr. Patel. His swift pronouncements about the inquiry have received concerns about his lack of experience, obsession with social media, and purge of some of the Bureau's most experienced investigators, according to current and former officials, most of whom spoke on the sensitive matter on the condition of anonymity. That's connected. The firings of the Salt Lake City FBI, I don't know what the term would be. The person in charge of it wouldn't be the director. That's Kash Patel. Whether Mr. Patel can overcome his embarrassingly early stumble and posts online about the Kirk investigation, the field office, thank you, field office lead, about the Kirk investigation remains to be seen. The FBI director's actions have already invited scorn and scrutiny from the Bureau's workforce and some senior officials of the Justice Department who think his behavior has eroded public confidence in the FBI. Mr. Patel's critics have also expressed concern that a wave of firings and forced retirements, which started before Mr. Patel was confirmed in February and continued after he took over, could hamper the Bureau's ability to manage complex investigations like the Kirk case. Hours before a single gunshot hit Mr. Kirk in the neck at Utah Valley University, 3 former top FBI officials, Brian J. Driscoll, Stephen Jensen, and Spencer Evans, filed a lawsuit against Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi, accusing them of illegally firing them. The departure of Mr. Driscoll, who served as interim director until Kash Patel was confirmed, has been a particularly significant blow. Mr. Driscoll was not only one of the FBI's most experienced career agents, he has been a morale booster and source of organizational stability, often defending rank-and-file agents targeted for firings or demotions by Trump appointees. Oh boy. Trump and Stephen Miller and the billionaire Nazis are gonna turn this into the FSB, but American. It's gonna get so bad unless it like all breaks apart for Kash Patel. I bet the other thing is I bet you they just come up with they'll find a shooter and say this is the shooter. I can see that happening too. Even though we have images of the shooter, they'll find an actor that looks just like him, and then say, "We found him. You got him, guys." Does that look like the face of people that know what they're doing? Does that look like the face of confident law enforcement to solve a crime? Where were we at here? Mr. Kook shirting highlights the urgent need for experience and steady leadership in moments of political violence, said Lauren C. Anderson, a former FBI agent who occupied senior leadership posts at the New York field office and supervised Mr. Syed early in her career. Mrs. Syed. Oh, my bad. And another departure had even more direct bearing on the Kirk investigation. Over the summer, Mr. Patel's team forced the retirement of Mehtab Syed, a highly regarded former counterterrorism agent, appointed in February to run the Salt Lake City field office for reasons that remain unclear. It's so that way they could kill Charlie Kirk and they wouldn't have one of the best agents investigating it. That's why. And also they could use DEI. So you got like a double-edged sword. DEI lady, but also so that way we can kill Charlie Kirk easier, and then they can't solve it. Mr. Kirk's shooting highlights the urgent need for experienced city leadership in moments of political violence, said Lauren C. Anderson, a former FBI agent who occupied senior leadership. She had unparalleled expertise in exactly these kinds of investigations. Mrs. Anderson added, losing her leadership at this critical moment is a serious blow to the community and the Bureau. A person close to Mr. Patel said that his actions have been geared at fostering better coordination, that he is appreciative of the work of agents on the case and determined to succeed. As if to prove that point, Mr. Patel and Mr. Bongino traveled on Thursday to Utah, which we can see, just to go stand there. To personally oversee the investigation, more like control it. Mr. Patel appeared at an evening news conference that offered few new details other than the video. On Wednesday evening, a word of Mr. Kirk's killing reverberated around the nation. Mr. Patel, a former podcaster, posted welcome but fleeting news on his official X account. The subject for the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody, he wrote to his 1.8 million followers. Thank you to the local state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. Mr. Patel wrote the message after speaking with agents working in the case and quickly posted it himself without consulting his leadership team, according to 2 people with knowledge of his actions. It was highly unusual for the director of the FBI, known for its button-down messaging and long-standing reluctance to compromise investigations, by freely sharing information with the public. It was even more unusual that he did so minutes before Governor Spencer Cox of Utah and other officials had scheduled their first on-air briefing, right? Remember that, y'all? You can go back and watch the stream. It was confusing because we're like, oh, Kash Patel said they had 2 suspects in custody. Okay. And then we're tuned in to the press conference. We have nobody. We don't know who did it. We need help. We need help. Moments later, Bo Mason, the commissioner of Utah's Department of Public Safety, told reporters that his agency and the FBI would be working together to find his killer, suggesting the search was continuing. Hey, MAGA, this is why you need liberals, because you guys can't do shit. The intelligence ain't there, really, when it comes to solving things. You have a lot of feelings and anger, and that can be directed in directions, for sure. But when it comes to smart people stuff, Trump said himself, he loves the uneducated, okay? So you need people that are smart to handle things, especially if you care about Charlie Kirk. If you actually do care about his life, if you were a fan of him, and you want to solve his murder, then you should care about that. And having MAGA podcasters who say opinions of things you like should not be in the government running investigations. Because now it's likely, I'm still thinking this is going to go nowhere. It's already almost 11:30 p.m. now on 9/11. The reason for the mismatch would soon become apparent. After the briefing, Mr. Patel took to X again, this time to announce the subject is in custody, has been released after an interrogation by law enforcement. He added, our investigation continues. There are no indications any of this has jeopardized Mr. Patel's job, as he is a close ally to powerful Trump aide Stephen Miller. For his part, Mr. Bongino appears to have weathered a crisis earlier this summer after he called on his boss, Attorney General Pam Bondi, to quit over handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Yet there are unmistakable signs the White House thinks the Bureau needs leadership help. Last month, the White House tapped Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General of Missouri, to serve as Deputy Director of the FBI, forcing Mr. Bongino to share power with a far more experienced manager. Mr. Bailey started work this week. Really? On Thursday, about 22 hours after Mr. Kirk was shot, the investigation appeared to pick up momentum when police and the FBI released security camera footage of a man in sunglasses and a baseball cap believed to be the shooter, along with information about the bolt-action rifle and ammunition found near the campus. Past investigations of high-profile incidents have also been plagued by missteps, including the 2013 inquiry into the deadly bombing of the Boston Marathon. While there were multiple false starts as public sought to identify the bombers, officials quickly zeroed in on two brothers. As you know, there's a movie. There's movies made about it now. As the likely culprits after the FBI published images and asked for the public's help, the appeal led to a frantic police chase and shootout. Since then, law enforcement's ability to make video clips and feed them through facial recognition software for possible matches has been vastly improved. We are confident in our abilities to track that individual, the FBI special agent in charge in Salt Lake City, Robert Bowles, said Thursday morning. If we're unsuccessful in identifying them immediately, we will reach out to the public. By afternoon, Mr. Patel posted another, more conventional message to his X account, one that might have been written by any of his predecessors, offering up $100K for information leading to the identification and arrest for the individuals responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. At a news conference on the university's campus in Orem hours later, Mr. Cox reiterated the plea for help in identifying and tracking the suspect. Mr. Patel, thanking him, stayed silent, as we saw in the press conference at the start of the stream. Mercado's a commie. I have zero communist values at all. You are an emotional little pussy because I don't like Charlie Kirk, but yet I'm doing more to investigate his murder than every single MAGA fucking loser combined and to get the truth out. But yeah, for sure. Mercado's a communist because he says the truth about Charlie Kirk. And then also is investigating his murder too. Wow, what a garbage person. Yet Prettyman Courthouse is overrun with petty shoplifting and minor weed possessions. It's clear they don't know the name of the subject, that they don't have a cell phone track, and they don't have fingerprints. They don't have shit.
It is clear they do not know the name of the suspect, that they don't have a cell phone track, they don't have fingerprints, DNA, or digital footprint, and that's why they're putting so much personally identifying information out to try to help get the public to find something that's there.
Find something for us. I know we already laid the narrative and had every single, not every, except for two Republicans, Almost every single House Republican that's MAGA say that it was the left. Every podcaster, anyone with a YouTube channel that's right-leaning, all already said it. Already gave you who it was. So we don't care who the shooter is. Mercado, you're a communist for trying to figure this out. Wow. Wow.
Some palm impressions. There's some smudges, some places we're looking to collect DNA. There's a shoe imprint where we believe the suspect is clearly identified as wearing Converse tennis shoes.
There they are. Remember when the radical left Democrats called for Liz Cheney to be shot in the face? What?
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's.
Damn. I remember this one.
And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face. You know,
and then, yeah. That's from the president. I love this. He's not stopping. We can't stop either, by the way. Don't let this moment of their victimhood bullshit mentality about Charlie Kirk change from the fact that this is exactly what they need. I love Robbie Road Streamer.
You guys want to storm the Capitol again? Or we could storm Applebee's? Because I have a right to be up here. It's called freedom of speech. Just like you guys. Don't touch me. That's
political violence.
Let's storm Applebee's. You're touching me. Whole Halliburton's pissed, brother. He wants to insurrect my rectum. Help me. Mega life crisis. He's going to hit me with the leg drop and the big boot, brother.
All right, man, because I'm Hulk Hogan. I got my 26-inch pythons with me.
It's a 26-inch lawsuit coming.
Well, go get it. Woo! Go get your fucking lawsuit. Oh, come on, man. Go get it.
Come on.
You want my picture? You
Smile.
got it. You want my name too, motherfucker?
You guys.
Dude, I'm telling you, you control them and everything, but at the end of the day, they are about fighting. So the folks at YouTube have age restricted this video 18 plus because of adult sexual content. What? You're gonna go storm an Applebee's. No political violence, people.
Fun to fly on the Jeffrey Epstein plane.
Kicks him? Don't kick me. That's like they kicks him.
I mean, that's harassment. No political violence, ladies. He looks like Yoda with AIDS right now.
He looks like Yoda with AIDS.
He looks like Yoda with AIDS right now. Robbie Road, Stephen, no political violence, people. This place smells like mothballs. Trump is a real felon. Then he went to Epstein Island. Trump, no physical, no political violence. No political violence. Remember, no political violence. Ow. Oh, man. Brother, I thought we were going to smoke together. I thought, whoa, he's got the kick on me. No, I have a right to sing. Whoa. I'm an alligator. Remember,
I'm an alligator.
Political violence.
That needs to continue. Shut up.
Epstein has a girl, and her name is Melania. And he's fondling her on the planes. And he's playing with her with salad tongues. And he's got her on the Epstein plane. I didn't know it. You know, I wish that I had Epstein's girl. I wish that I had Epstein's girl. Like Epstein's girl. I want Epstein's girl.
The Jeffrey Epstein giraffe. The Jeffrey Epstein giraffe. He goes, well, Robbie Road streamer, who obviously engages with all this, you know. He goes, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. It is pretty sad. You had a great sense of humor when I interrupted Turning Point last month as Gary the Guantanamo Gator. I was trying to bring humor and love to topics such as immigration and the Epstein plane. Violence is not the answer. We can come together through community, comedy, and unite the working class. R.I.P., mate. We still have a long way to go in America with gun violence. That's the best way you could put it, probably.
Russell, great to see you. Grateful to be here.
Before we start, I'm not Gary the Guantanamo Gator. Charlie, you've been avoiding me with debating.
Thank you.
Don't touch me, though. We can do this to blood. Charlie,
This is important. It's the Guantanamo Gator. Charlie, I want to follow up on some of the Guantanamo Gators questions. Keep talking, this is good.
Why won't you debate me, Charlie?
And why don't you debate it?
Charlie, you and me, in a steel cage SummerSlam.
He's perfectly reasonable. Debate him now. Why do you keep...
Trump was on the Jeffrey and Epstein plane. Trump was on the Jeffrey Epstein.
Now, no one told me about the Guantanamo Gator.
He's just so reasonable. We should have kept the conversation going.
No, Charlie Kirk was intimidated. Oh, boy. Here's what he had to say about it overall, though.
Hey, it's Robbie Road Steamer, aka Gary the Guantanamo Gator. I'm very upset and saddened that my friend Charlie Kirk has passed away. We at the Unfuck America tour are bummed out beyond all hell about this man. We are not about violence whatsoever. We're about comedy, community, and coming together, uniting the working class. No political violence, people. That's not the way we're going to get there. We're going to get there by bringing community, uniting the working class, and coming together on the issues at hand that we are truly triggered by, including gun violence. Gun violence, at least in Charlie's spirit. You know, together with a bunch of us at the Unfuck America tour, we are saddened, we are bummed out. We wanted to do it through comedy and community, uniting the kids at Turning Point and everybody else. And instead, we're mourning another senseless act of gun violence in this country. I'll see you up at the SummerSlam debate we have in the sky, buddy. Love you, bro. Take care.
So, kind message, of course. I think that was a good way to put it from Robbie Road Streamer. Great content, though, overall. Like, trolling them. Just going up and doing crazy shit. No political violence, people. Gun violence in Kick's name. I like him. He should dress up as Big Teddy and be president. He creates his own characters. The Guantanamo Gator is crazy. A J6 vigil at the White House on 9/11. Oh my God, bro.
The media wouldn't take our messages to Trump. The politicians, we pled with them, and they would not plead with Trump on our behalf.
Fuck you!
Real truth, real video, and we need to really communicate with the commander-in-chief.
Pardoned but not free.
The man that's in charge, that the media would...
When I got a notification that Ford was live for exactly that, I started cackling in the public bathroom I was in. Oh, fuck. Austin Eckler teared his Achilles. Yeah, he's done. Sorry, a little sports update. Man, I think we're in like a dwindling time right now of like there's nothing. Kirk supporters see his killing as an inflection point for young conservative movement. Charlie lives. A bunch of young men that need proper direction, and they went to Charlie Kirk, and now they're going to be like fucked for life because of this until they can have a proper role model. Because Charlie Kirk was their role model, and that's not good. Charlie Kirk supporters see his killing as an inflection point. Time magazine's national political reporter Eric Cortellessa told CNN's Abby Phillips. Cortellessa wrote Times cover story killing of Charlie Kirk and the political violence haunting America, said the killing many become a rallying cry, and may become a rallying cry for his supporters and could further galvanize young people's shift towards a conservative movement. Speaking alongside Cortellessa, Will Summer, senior reporter at news site The Bulwark, said the presidential run certainly could have been something in his future. Despite being so young, Kirk had an enormous political machine behind him. You think we are going to like see a big protest movement? It would have already happened if they were going to, so. There was like vigils at the Idaho Capitol and shit. Wall Street Journal updated its report about the engravings on the bullets, emphasizing that officials that I'm glad I didn't post this then at all. We saw it on stream, but I was like, that ain't right. So I'm so glad we didn't even entertain that. We didn't even entertain that story because it didn't sound right. How do you put trans bullets? What is that, brother? Trans bullets now. You know, trans people just own everything. They're just responsible for everything now. They're guilty of everything, according to the right wing. Wall Street Journal has updated its report, as you know. Okay, first they said they had transgender and anti-fascist ideology, and then here they go. The bulletin said an older model 30 caliber hunting rifle was discovered in the woods near a scene of Wednesday's shooting at University, wrapped in a towel with a spent cartridge still in the chamber. There was also 3 unspent rounds in the magazine, all with wording on them. It said, Justice Department officials said the probe was in its early stages. Investigators were still analyzing the evidence, and the bulletin may not accurately reflect the messages on the ammunition. Oof. How do you, TRN is, TRN refers to the head stamp on cartridges manufactured by Turin Ammo, a Turkish company. Can you buy this ammo in America? Now I need my ammo sexuals to check in. Can you buy this in can you get this at the gun shop? You can? Okay. Manufacturer mark TRN is a head stamp found in ammunition produced by Turin Ammo. Turkish origin. Turin Ammo is a Turkish company. Okay, but you can buy it in America though. It's like, you know, my brain was like, okay, was this, can you only get this ammo in a certain place? And then that would be weirder, but if you can buy it on the shelves, then is it, how much is it? Or where do you buy it? Turin Ammo. Good thing I am banned on Twitch. I'd probably get blocked for looking up evidence of the bullets. You can order them? Can you just like order bullets now? Now it's sell the. What was? Do you think he was shot by a 223? It was one of these. There's been so much bad information that came out right away, and that sucks because then you got to like undo it all. Well, and you're not going to be able to. Or would it be the 308 bullets? Can't review them. What do you like order him? Or you got to message him and then work it out or what? I know it said okay. A lot of reports have said things though today. I know that's what it said, but if it had TRN on the ammo, it's got to come from trans messages. Way more questions than answers still. We have 217 of the 218 signatures required. We just need one more congressman to sign the discharge petition in order to force the House a vote in the House on a bill to release the Epstein files. So Thomas Massey's still trying to get the Epstein files released. Rachel Maddow is still alive. What? Honestly, I'm honestly just glad some of them are saying it out loud so we don't all have to feel gaslit. I don't care if some libtard doesn't want to cry over Charlie Kirk. I know none of you would be crying if someone killed Rachel Maddow, and we just need to be honest with ourselves. So many demands of empathy from people who loudly claim empathy is evil. It's tiresome. Yeah, and he was us. She is not us. That's there you go. I don't know, not being sad about someone who openly stated that he thinks the Civil Rights Act was a mistake doesn't seem like that wild of a take. It's not. You don't have any obligation other than the emotional human response to seeing what if you watch the video or like of another human like losing their life. Like that's natural. That's usually natural and means that you still have empathy and you still have the ability to have emotion. So that's good actually. But beyond that though, and treating Charlie Kirk like a martyr, or you don't have to do any of that. That is not required. You don't have to feel bad at all, actually, other than, again, if you have the human nature of, like, what happened to him. Analysis: an entire way of doing politics is at risk. America may be getting too dangerous for politics. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, President Donald Trump's ambassador to youthful conservatives, has stirred such a sense of shock that some lawmakers are now rethinking the kind of freewheeling outdoor campaigning that his barnstorming college tours are meant to preserve. The risks courted by those who mount a public pedestal were laid bare a day after Kirk's murder in Utah, a sickening capstone on 12 months of political violence. The balance between political free association and security that every candidate must assess now risks being tilted toward restricted indoor gatherings, smaller audiences, and less interaction with voters. That would mean politics already being tarnished by the social media swamps where it's increasingly conducted, like X, would risk becoming even more radicalized, distanced from voters, and dominated by stunts rather than issues. I like being accessible, but being accessible is starting to look like being vulnerable. New York, Dakota Republican Senator Kevin Kramer. They were already not wanting to go out and meet and face their voters after the tariffs. And we've already had a MAGA assassin. Listen, no. We already had a MAGA assassin kill Melissa Hortman and her family. And guess what happened the same day? Minnesotans still went out there in the tens of thousands of people. It was the biggest protest I've ever seen. I've never seen the protests that big, even in 2020. There were some massive ones in Minneapolis. But this one filled up the entire Capitol rotunda all the way down the street to the to the cathedral. And then more, and more too, because like people couldn't fit, so like they were just like stuck back there. They couldn't even make it up to the Capitol. They went all the way back. Same day. All right. Well, I don't have anything to... No shooter. No name. We have video just to catch you up. We got some photos, some extra pictures. Land of the Free, Home of the Brave t-shirt. It looks like an Adidas. Is that an Adidas hat or a triangle on it? Got Converse shoes, blue jeans, sunglasses. Is up on the roof. Photo images. Why does it look like they're wearing all black in this? I know it's a silhouette and it's garbage image, but it looks like they're wearing all black. Which is why they said he's wearing black pants, but yet in the image we see a guy wearing jeans and a blue hat. This can't be the only images they have. Unless he truly like, well, if they had him on the roof, if those eyewitness reports are true, if they saw him on the roof, then he like scouted it all out and knew where the cameras were and where to hide his face. And that is not someone a normal human being does without training. Like I said, military brain, know where the cameras are. He's purposely like, they don't have a clear image of like his face. Because you have that all the time with people that don't know about cameras. And they like just like look and then they realize, oh, there's a camera, and they're like looking dead into it. Oh no, I'm caught. You said that's a Military Disabled Veterans of America t-shirt? Yep. Disabled Veterans of America. You can see it right there. They have a sticker on it. I can't read exactly what it says. You said exactly. Other than I could have clear footage? No. It's all weird. That's the t-shirt he's wearing. Without the disabled veteran sticker on it. Here's the footage one more time for you guys. So we can see him leaving the spot. So actually we can like do this really quick. Okay, so you can see him from inside. You can see him get up and run. Again, he's up here on the roof next to the beam inside there. So you can see him run. So you can see him run, and then he goes from there to where we're seeing him run on the roof. So he's right here. Ran from that spot. He's over here. Goes behind the top part of the building. Goes to the corner, jumps down. How do you not see the kid jumping off the roof there? Like, there's people walking around all over. It's not weird to see someone, like, there's a car driving by. Like, in the car, you're not looking and seeing that there's a person jumping from the roof. Like, if I'm parking my car, I'm, like, looking for parking spots, and I'd be like, that's weird. Why is someone jumping from the roof? Yeah, it's a pretty long fall. He hung. He tried to stretch it out. He knew how to land, though. He knew how to land without breaking his ankle or anything. I was wrong where I guessed where he jumped off, because yesterday I thought he would. And they said he jumped off the building. It would have been. I thought it would have been over here, but he went all the way around it and jumped off right here, in that spot, on the opposite corner of the building. So here was a sniper spot from here, and then killed Charlie Kirk, just like that. This is where he was. Shot him. Got up. Ran this way. Went like this. And then jumped off right here. That we're seeing. And he walks across the parking lot, or the grass near the parking lot. Gets out to the sidewalk. And then the footage ends. Looks like he's like into the street though. Like, what is he? Is that like he walks to the street and then the footage ends? Jumps off there. Walks over here, and then the footage stops where he's like in the street right there. And I wonder why the footage is cut there. Why don't we get to see where he goes? I would have had to have gone this way to avoid cameras. All the cameras would have been like, if you would have went this way, all the LDS, you would have been picked up by cameras. So probably to avoid the most cameras, because people have Ring cameras and shit. Where do you go from the neighborhood though? Like, where do you, like, it's not like this part of Utah or like is a easy place to navigate after you get out of it. Like, bro, look at the terrain here. Hmm. You said you posted a clear image of him? Where? We have though. If there's like a super clear image, it's an AI picture. It's not a real one of him. Where would he have gone? So, like, we see him stop here. He would have probably had to have gone into the neighborhood to avoid more cameras. Which we see in that TMZ footage. He's back in a neighborhood. I don't know where. Go like that way? Through the woods? Is it because he dropped his tree in the woods, whatever that is. So it had to be in like this tree line or this batch of trees or this batch of trees. Could be in here too. They got a plane. They got a monument out there. Plane monument. I'm not sure what that is. You would think you would be like stuck in this. Like you see, like you don't have. You would be stuck. You can unless you get in a car. Like you got in a car, obviously. You had to have. There's nowhere you can like run on foot in here, other than the neighborhoods. And then what? You're gonna go into the mountains? Maybe he's up in the mountains. You know, if he has that type of training with the rifle, you know, hey, it's not too far off to know he can survive, like, in this environment. Actually, now. You can't go this way. There's an island, Bird Island. Can you go swimming in that or no? Never been to Utah. Another video of the shooter walking in the neighborhood. Where? A new one? We talk about the TMZ one. Do you have another video on the side of the TMZ? Why do I get to see Jake Bro posting? It's like, why am I seeing that? Yeah. Why am I subjected to his words? Yeah, I've seen that TMZ video. Is that the one you're talking about? You can play that one more time, but it's You said his car is parked in the neighborhood. You think so? He was running, but you see him walking beforehand. The limping is still weird to me, unless again he has the rifle in his pants or parts of it. Looks like he's holding something there too, so that could be true. Maybe he has the barrel in his pants and the rest of it in his backpack. He's limping. No, this is before the shooting. You think he's doing what's that? I know what you're thinking of. What's the movie where he pretends to be crippled and then at the end you find out he was the one that was behind it the whole time? Yeah, it's Kevin Spacey, but what movie though? With Usual Suspects, Gas. Haven't seen it in a while. Movie's super good. That one's still what a flip, because it has you trying to think of who is Kaiser Soze the whole time, and then it ends up being Kevin Spacey. Nothing else yet. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll get more ring camera. You probably have. I bet you have the whole neighborhood browsing through their ring cameras, looking for something. The whole Orem town. That's the only images we have right now. He's looking up at it from here, but that's what do you do with that? Looks like his face is pixelated. In the year of our Lord 2025, this is the security camera footage, though. JD Vance helps carry Charlie Kirk's casket into Air Force 2. The motive and the beneficiary of the assassination? Is it JD Vance? Can't even carry his casket level. It's like sideways and shit. It's fine. Or maybe it's JD Vance's dumbass hand putting weight on the casket, so therefore it's like leaning to the side. I already got mad about this earlier, so I'm not going to get myself mad again. But to have Charlie Kirk as being treated as if a fallen military member is why America is going to collapse as a country. We abandoned our allies in their time of need, and we're giving white nationalist Nazis the honors of the military. That's what's happening in America. It's probably both. When you put out in the news that it's transgender and anti-fascist messaging, that gives credit to the narrative that was painted, that this was a left-wing, that this was the left that killed Charlie Kirk. That's why they did that. I feel this whole thing is cocked up. Charlie Kirk was murdered. That's facts. Charlie Kirk was murdered. Nothing not true about that. The cause of it, the effects of it, the investigation, everything we're dealing with right now is cocked up. And I think Charlie was a sacrifice for whatever the shit they're about to do next. And they needed someone like very important like Charlie Kirk in their shit to die for that. Yeah, but it's like not a false flag in the sense of it didn't happen. It did, but just the reason, the everything around it though is what is not adding up. All of it around there is what's not adding up. You'll have like the right that say this is a false flag and they deny the event happened at all, or lie about the event. There's a situation where there's nothing to lie about the event except for the people that are investigating it. And also the people that claim to care about Charlie. This old dude just watching them all duck down while they're all... I can't... The streets are too blotched. I can't do that. This woman in the pink dress with the megaphone is part of the White House press? No way.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? President Trump! President Trump! Yay! President Trump! President Trump! President Trump! President Trump! President Trump! American patriots for President Trump! You're not even legally in
Pedo protectors. That's crazy.
You're not legally in the United States. I support you. We love President Trump. President Trump. Pedo protectors. President Trump. President Trump. Yes. Pedo protectors. Who do we appreciate? President Trump. President Trump. President Trump. Yay. We love President Trump. We love Trump.
Cult. We're in a cult. We're in a cult. That's the chance, though. That makes sense. I went to tons of MAGA rallies. Probably can't go to any more now because they're all prime domestic terrorists right now. So probably not safe to go to a MAGA rally or anything MAGA related anymore. But that's what they do. That's their chance. USA, USA, Trump, 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 Trump. We love Trump. We love Trump. That's it. On repeat. Those three chants. That's it. Nothing else. It's like cringe, but it's wild to see. It's like watching wildlife. We love Trump. We love Trump. Bill Ackman has announced he will contribute $1 million to the FBI's $100,000 reward for information on the Charlie Kirk shooter. Alex Bershwitz and Robbie Starbuck have pledged $25,000, bringing the total reward pool to $1.15 million for information leading to the arrest. They're gonna find someone. They will find someone, and not likely not the one that did it, but they'll have a patsy. I think, especially the higher the reward pool goes. Dang. Israel, we are going to expand our war again.
Tomorrow is September 11th. We remember September 11th.
Oh my God. And you use that propaganda to prey on Americans all the time. And bring them into your cocked up Zionist bullshit. Netanyahu just announced Israel may soon attack Pakistan. Wait. What? Is that what's in that video?
September 11th. We remember September 11th. On that day, Islamist terrorists committed the worst savagery on American soil since the founding of the United States. We also have a September 11th. We remember October 7th.
October 7th is our September 11th. Go find a hole. Holy shit, bro.
On that day, Islamist terrorists committed the worst savagery against the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
You mean the Russian-backed thing that you also support too, and likely set up to make happen and false flagged your own country? That's what I think too. By the way, that's my take on October 7th, was Bibi Netanyahu and Putin were behind that.
What did America do in the wake of September 11th? It promised to hunt down the terrorists who committed this heinous crime wherever they may be. And it also passed a resolution in the Security Council of the UN 2 weeks later that said governments cannot give harbor to terrorists. Well, yesterday, we acted along those lines. We went after the terrorist masterminds who committed the October 7th massacre. And we did so in Qatar, which gives safe haven. It harbors terrorists. It finances Hamas. It gives its terrorist chieftains sumptuous villas. It gives them everything. So we did exactly what America did when it went after the terrorists, the Al-Qaeda terrorists in Afghanistan, and after they went and killed Osama bin Laden in Pakistan. Now the various countries.
Oh, are they about to start a war with Pakistan? Or go bomb Pakistan now?
In Pakistan. Now the various countries of the world condemn Israel. They should be ashamed of themselves. What did they do after America took out Osama bin Laden? Did they say, oh, what a terrible thing was done to Afghanistan or to Pakistan? No, they applauded. They should applaud Israel for standing and up to these same principles and carrying them out. And I say to Qatar and all nations who harbor terrorists, you either expel them or you bring them to justice. Because if you don't, we will.
All right, so Israel seems to want to expand their conflict again. Go bomb another country. Okay, it's AI. So that could be happening soon. So you got Poland doing stuff now, actually, in bordering, closing the border with Belarus because of Russia's drones in Poland. You got, looks like Israel is going to carry out actions in Pakistan and Qatar, maybe. And then we have mass shootings in the U.S. What a week. What a week. All right, y'all. Well, let's check this one more time. Let's see, just in. House camera captures person. Oh, new house camera? 6 minutes ago. Told y'all, I bet you the whole neighborhood's going through all of their shit. And that takes a long, that does take some time. Because you have to have individuals, or they're submitting their Ring camera to the FBI. One more time. Okay. So we got a new video of him walking in the residential area now. Walks across the driveway, goes into the grass, and then does a little spin thing, and then walks away. Oh, maybe he was just trying to, like, adjust his pants or something, or... Okay. What does the article say now? The footage obtained by CNN shows a person matching the description and images of the suspect in the killing of Charlie Kirk walking on a residential street before the shooting. CNN has geolocated the video of a neighborhood near Utah Valley University campus. The person in the video appears to pause at a tree before turning and walking towards the university. The hour shown in the video time code was not set to match local time, according to the owner of the footage. Authorities said the suspect arrived on campus at 11:52 a.m. So we're getting new video at like just past midnight here. Yeah, it's the time's off. We don't have their cameras lined up. Ryan Sheed, can anyone tell me why the U.S. Air Force Honor Guard is carrying the casket of racist and bigot Charlie Kirk? He never served in the military. What a disgrace. The college dropout who made a living saying vile things about Americans is not a martyr. He's a casualty of his own words. I hope Charlie is rotting in hell with Rush Limbaugh. So like... If you believe in God, he certainly didn't go to heaven. That's for sure. Certainly is not up there. Be in the bad place. You'd be in the bad afterlife place, the one you don't want to go to, right? All right, y'all. Well, we got a new video, but I'm going to break now until tomorrow because I don't want to be up with this all night again and then be cooked again. I slept like, we were up, when we up, I just stayed up all night. So I did sleep though today. I slept after the stream until about 5 o'clock. So I did sleep. I did get rest. But I think we can break for now and then come back when we get more. Because we just waited like 2 hours for just another. Well, like when we come back, we'll have even more video probably. Hopefully a suspect. Hopefully a name. Something. Something. But until then, come on over to the gaming channel. Come on over to the gaming channel. Mercado Gaming. I think because it's 12:15, I'm just going to play 2K again. I got my career going. I got my basketball player. And I don't feel like playing anything else, really. Play lots of games, though. We do. I play Arma. I do all that stuff. Zombies. Death Stranding was gas. Love that game. Mafia, Old Country, just played that. New Metal Gear Delta, played that. I love Metal Gear, so I played all of them. So come check it out, Mercado Gaming. I'll get the 2K stream ready, and then I'm going to go play some basketball and relax for a while. Get it scheduled now. What time is it? 12. Nice. So put it at 12:30. 12:30, guys. But if not, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We got more coverage to come on the Charlie Kirk assassin still at large. We got video and we got some photos today, but no clear identification. Nothing beyond what really nothing significantly new. We saw him jump off the building and then it cuts off. We saw what his clothes are, or like that it's a him, right? It's a man wearing a disabled veterans t-shirt with a hat, blue hat with a triangle on it. I mean, if you have any information, feel free to contact the FBI. If you live around Utah and want to do something to help, it'd be more than what Charlie would ever do. So you're already a better person than Charlie by at least trying to be interested in who killed him, because that's more effort than he would have ever put into for any of us if we were killed to gun violence. All right, guys, thank you again for watching. We'll be back on Twitch as soon as I can get it. I have to appeal that. I just slept and woke up, so I didn't appeal anything, but I got a 72-hour ban, I think, for covering news. We'll figure that out. See you guys on the next one. Thank you to all my new members. Thank you to Kylie, gifted a membership. Thank you to Candy for the $1.99. Yep, I got it. Thank you for that, Candy. I think we just watched that video. Ken, thank you for the gifted. Ron Patras with the 5 says, past today, SCOTUS has made it okay for ICE to racially profile. It wasn't just today. It was like a couple days ago. Merc, brawling at Kirk vigils brawling at the Kirk vigils. I played some of it. I played some of it at the Idaho vigil. Perfect time for investigating murder. Thank you. Aris said EU Parliament voted no on the moment of silence based. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.